this moment last. Give up yourself until the morning. Let's make this moment last.
There'll be an air of nostalgia about the Valley today. They're celebrating 100 years of Charlton Athletic, and they've got some special memories in this part of London. And they've got permission to wear a special jersey today as well to mark the occasion. The one with the white band running top to bottom. It's the Charlton Athletic centenary jersey. It's also to mark their 100th home game in the Premiership. That's why they're chosen today specifically. And they've been in great form here at the Valley this season. Only Southampton have taken anything away. They have won the other three. But this will be a test against the Toon, who are unbeaten under Graham Souness. He's broken that long run without a win on the road. 16 it was in total, and the Geordies are on the move. They've enjoyed their football here this season. They're still a little puzzled about the contrast in form on the road, mind you. They've beaten Pompey, Villa and Blackburn here, but it's been awful when they've been away from the Valley. No Patrick Kluivert for Graham Souness this afternoon. He's back at home with a hamstring injury. So for the first time today, it's Shearer and Craig Bellamy up top. He gets the chance that he's been waiting for. And any vantage point will do today if you're a Geordie in this part of London. Our Super Sunday football comes from the Valley. Live from the Barclays Premiership, it's Charlton and Newcastle. And okay, Charlton are not Manchester United, they're not Arsenal, but they are a proud club with a very proud history, and we are helping them celebrate their centenary today. Not that Newcastle United will care too much about that. They've found a new discipline under Graham Souness. They're here to win, and if they do, they will take a place in the top 4. Our guests today are Charlton men through and through, with a little bit of Geordie thrown in as well. Rob Lee, who played, would you believe, 724 games for these two clubs, winning 21 England caps along the way and scoring 121 goals. Chris Powell is also with us, 217 games for Charlton so far. His international career started late. He's away on loan at West Ham at the moment, which is why he can spend time with us today. And welcome both. 100 years of Charlton Athletic, Chris. An awful lot's happened in that period of time, hasn't it? Probably more to them than most other football clubs as well.
Most definitely, yes. You know, the time I've been here, you know, I've heard about obviously all the times they lost the Valley and went away and played at Selhurst. Obviously, Rob played at Selhurst and Upton Park, and then the playoff final. I mean, so much has happened in the short time I've been here, and obviously a lot happened when Rob was here and obviously before, but it's going to be a great day, 100 years and the 100th Premiership game. It's very good for him. And
we'll hear more about this, of course, later, but it was only as a result of your leaving Charlton, and I think it broke your heart back then, didn't it, moving to Newcastle United. The £700,000 that they got for you actually bought them the Valley, which of course has been redeveloped wonderfully since.
Yeah, it's changed dramatically since I left. I think it's 12 years ago now. I mean, I think clubs like Norwich and Crystal Palace have only got to look at Charlton, and this is the way. If you want to become a Premiership club and you haven't got Abramovich's money, this is the way you have to do it. And it's taken them 12 years, but now they're an established Premiership club now, and you know, no one expects them to be in relegation trouble. Got a great stadium, got great fans, and they've got a very, very good manager.
And a quick word about the Toon. How encouraged are you about the start that Graham Souness has made?
I don't think he could have done anything better. He's been fantastic. I mean, he's come in, he's said all the right things. He knows he's got a very, very good squad. He's not going to change it too much, I don't think. I think in January he'll probably had a couple of defenders, which Newcastle have always lacked. And but they've got a fantastic forward line, fantastic midfield. At the moment they're probably a little bit, they can be attacked little bit dodgy at the back, but I think he knows he's got a very good team, and as I say, the games he's won away at Southampton, which we've never done for many years, and I'm sure he's got the team playing very, very well.
And Charlton, Chris, are they at the stage now where they look up rather than down the Premiership?
Very much so. I think after the first year we came up and got relegated, I think the board and the manager looked at it and said, okay, the next year we know what's going to happen and the sort of teams we're going to face. And I think they said once we sort of establish ourselves and we'll build a base, then we can go from there. And I think over the years, as the money has come in, obviously spent wisely, and each and every year you've got to look up, you know, onwards and forwards, and I think that's what's happened. Last year was the best finish ever for the club in the Premier League, and I'm sure this year, you know, Alan's looking at it saying, I want another point more than we did last year, and that shows that you're moving forward.
Barclays Premiership looks like this. Palace are back on the bottom. In the drop zone with them now, Southampton and Blackburn Rovers. Norwich clawed their way out with the point yesterday against the Baggies. Fulham are falling into a little bit of trouble. It's just 1 win in 7 for them. West Brom up into 15th this weekend. Birmingham up into 14th. No change for Portsmouth yet. Of course, they play on the Monday Night Football. Played. Remember, this time next week they meet Arsenal, and we're there to watch it as well. Look at 5, 4 and 3. Middlesbrough, Bolton and Everton sit in 3rd place. Then come Chelsea, beaten for the first time yesterday, of course, at Manchester City, and Arsenal now. Middlesbrough, Chelsea, Newcastle, unbeaten under Graham Souness, Everton, and of course top of the pile, Arsenal. And we've got the teams confirmed. 3 changes for Arsenal from the team beaten by Arsenal last time out. In come Holland, Romadal and Bartlett. Holland and Bartlett have been struggling with ankle injuries. In fact, it's perhaps Holland's first start since the opening day. Kishishev, El Kakuri and Jason Ewell are the players left out. As you can see, Ewell and Kakuri available for selection. They take a place on the bench. Kishishev is injured. 1 change for Newcastle United. No Patrick Kluivert. Ambrose is a starter on the left side of their midfield. Robert overlooked again. It's Shearer and Bellamy together for the first time up top under Graham Souness, which will please Craig Bellamy no end. Now, of course, he's got to produce. Well, as we've said, and we will say a few times yet this afternoon, 100 years of Charlton Athletic. That's what they're celebrating this afternoon. They've grown up, blossomed here in the shadow of the dome of the Thames Barrier, which is away to the left-hand side. So, different surroundings from when it all started. Martin Tyler takes up the story.
It all started in 1905 when 6 teenage boys decided to form a football team, and they called it Charlton Athletic. In 1913 they moved to the Valley, but it wasn't until 1920 that they became a professional outfit. 1933 saw Jimmy Seed take over as manager and become a legend, still remembered by fans today.
Cheer up, the sun is red, live.
In 1946, he steered the Addicts to the first post-war FA Cup final. Seed and his boys were in confident mood.
And I think and hope that they will bring the cup back to Charlton.
They didn't, losing 4-1 after extra time to Derby County. But a year later, the white-shirted Charlton were back at Wembley, this time making no mistakes, winning 1-0 against Burnley. The 1947 FA Cup was and still is their finest hour. In 1956, their much-loved goalkeeper Sam Bartram retired at the age of 42 after 623 games, still a club record. The very next season, they were relegated. Promotion wasn't seen again until the 1970s, when Derek Hales became a cult hero. No one has scored more goals in a Charlton shirt. 1982 saw the shock signing of former European Footballer of the Year, Alan Seamanson from Barcelona. It was an expensive gamble that failed. He left after just 17 games. In 1985, the club's finances were so bad they were forced to leave the Valley and play home games at Selhurst Park. The fans weren't happy, but a year later, they were on the pitch celebrating at Selhurst. Promotion back to the big time had been gained. But this wasn't enough. Charlton fans decided it was up to them to get their hands dirty and get the Valley back in working order. Starting their own Valley political party solved problems with the local council. Years of petitions and hard work were paying off. By now they were playing at Upton Park, and the new management duo of Grit and Kirbishley was still needing cash to fund their dream.
When Robert comes back, he'll be coming back to a 20,000 all-seater stadium, Premiership football. And when he left, we was at Upton Park and we sold him to buy the Valley back.
In 1992 they were finally home. The first game back at the Valley could only go one way.
I mean, it's marvellous. Perfect ending to a perfect day.
Their most perfect day would come in the 1998 playoff final, in one of the greatest games the old Wembley ever saw. Charlton eventually beat Sunderland on penalties and were in the Premiership for the first time in their history. They were relegated the following season, but in 2000 they bounced straight back as champions. Charlton finished last season in 7th place, their best in the top division since the 1950s. So almost 100 years worth of memories, and the current hero of the Valley has plenty of his own.
Perhaps I'm going to come back here one day just to watch a football match and just to walk in like any normal fan and, you know, sit down and watch the game, and obviously want Charlton to win it, but not be their manager. I think I'd look around that stadium and look around what's been achieved with a lot of pride.
Brilliant. Billy Cotton and his band with the Red Robin, who's bobbing along, and they still come out to the Red Robin, but it's a very different Valley these days that they're playing. I love those shots, Chris, of the supporters all those years ago when finally they got permission to come in and start to change things around here, marching down the high street. Look, left turn, chaps. It's a bit Dad's Army, this, isn't it? Brooms and spades. But what a job they did, those boys.
Fantastic. I mean, a lot of them still are involved with the club, you know, because I mean, a lot of people love this club, and I was just thinking, without Rob, we wouldn't be sitting here now.
Not at all.
You know, it's
Not
really
at all.
strange.
Just wouldn't have happened.
Just what happened, and the fans formed their own party to, you know, win at the election. And I mean, without a lot of hard work from a lot of genuine people, this club would be dead.
And a little bit like the Chip advert that we've recently seen on television, how right was Alan Kirbishley saying that when Rob Lee comes back to this stadium, and it's a 20,000 all-seater, and we'll be very grateful for the fact that he gave himself up for us. Although, having said all of that, it's not been a bad career since, has it?
It's gone all right for both of us, I think. I think we've both had decent careers, myself and Charlton. I mean, I remember it very well. I mean, when I left the last game I played at the Valley, we beat Stoke 2-1, and everybody thought that was it. That was the last time. I thought the Valley was going to be sold. It was going to be built on. We wouldn't get back in. And so we were nomads for, I think it was 7 odd years at Selhurst Park and Upton Park. When the fans still came. I mean, both of them grounds are nice grounds, but it's nothing like having your home ground. No. But we still got, you know, the loyal supporters. You know, they followed us through thick and thin. And I say, when they had a chance to come back, it was just unfortunate for me that I couldn't actually play in the game because I had to be sold to finance it, really. But I would love to have played in the first game back.
Well, we were here to watch the first home game, in fact, between these two in the Premiership. Not sure if you remember. 2-2 it finished, and it was quite an afternoon.
only on Sky Sports. Phil Taylor aims for his third consecutive Grand Prix title. Can anyone stop the power? 2004 Sky Bet World Darts Grand Prix tomorrow at 6, Sky Sports 2.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do.
6-speed manual or automatic transmission. All-wheel steering.
It's your thing.
150 brake horsepower. And it's a diesel. The first diesel to perform like a Saab. The new 9.3 Sports Diesel from just $18,995.
Maybe I will.
Ciao, Sophia.
Sorry.
Niente.
Sorry.
In Italy, different flowers have different meanings. Chrysanthemums, for example, are associated with funerals and sadness.
Sophia è morta.
At HSBC, we never underestimate the importance of local knowledge. HSBC, the world's local bank.
Because you never know when. Links 24/7 works 24 hours a day.
Van Helsing is now on an action-packed DVD. It's a must-see. A monster of a hit. Marvelous monster mayhem.
Something who?
Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale. Buy it now on DVD and get The Mummy for just $5.99.
Right, Trev.
Yep. Nah. Nah.
Foster's is specially brewed to taste better cold, so let's keep it that way.
Nice one, Trev.
Yeah.
Churchill, Roosevelt.
Stalin to Sarah Milton, 8 Mill Close immediately.
With broadband from BT, you can discover a whole new world right behind your phone socket.
Number 1 in the charts, Ham's banner to James Pike, 10 Low Street.
Hi. Oh yes, James Pike has bought an iPod.
Okay guys, we've got a first-time downloader.
No, it's okay. This isn't dial-up. It's much faster.
Cool.
Up to 3 times faster than some broadbands, it costs from just $17.99 a month. Visit bt.com and access the true power of broadband. BT, more power to you.
A big night of boxing. Joe Calzaghe returns to defend his world super middleweight crown. Plus Alex Arthur's showdown with Eric Odomase. Friday Fight Night with StanJamesCasino.com. Friday at 10, Sky Sports 1.
Got live football from Spain a little later this evening. Barcelona lead by 5 points now from Valencia. Seville are in third place. It's Valencia against Seville tonight, 8 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. Tomorrow, confirmation of the Monday night football. It's Portsmouth against Spurs, 7 o'clock start. And right now, on a Super Sunday, it's Charlton against Newcastle United. We've seen the first Premiership meeting here between the two. Charlton have been down and up by the time they met again and won.
Bartlett, Spencer can keep it down, he can. Oh, he finds the corner, finds cut from across, and Charlton lead Newcastle 1-0.
What was that?
I still can't work out what I said there.
I hope it was clean.
Oh, very much so, yeah, definitely.
And that was a win that took Charlton into 7th place. Chris Powell is with us this afternoon and Rob Lee. Now, in 12 years we've been watching Premiership football on Sky Sports. During that time we have seen hundreds of players come and go. but go where? This is the latest in our series of Premiership people. Do you remember Clive Mendonca, who starred at Wembley in one of the great playoff finals?
Clive Mendonca, great turn! Can he equalise for Charlton? Yes, he can! Mendonca waits in the box. Mendonca! It is the hat-trick!
3 for Charlton against his boyhood heroes, Sunderland, and how that hurt. But how much it was enjoyable too. He's actually back now amongst the Mackhams.
I've been up here, 8 months now, and all I've been doing really is decorating my house. I've been like a painter and decorator for the last 8 months. And to be fair, I mean, I've got a little lad who plays football twice a week, and that's where I get my enjoyment now. I watch him a few times a week, and I'm just sitting here getting fat and relaxing.
Can Mendonca give Charlton the start they need? Yes, he can!
It was a pleasure to play in a game like that because it was such a great game of football to watch. And obviously scoring a hat-trick, a lot of players finish and don't have many memories. So, I mean, to finish and to score a hat-trick with Wembley is any schoolboy's dream, any professional's dream. So that'll live with us till my dying day. So, obviously, that was the high point of my career.
Michael Gray. He just saved it! Charlton were in the Premiership!
I went on holiday to Cyprus and actually I went to the toilet and I just turned round and Mickey was behind us, and actually the last person he wanted to see was my face because obviously he was so much down in the dumps of what had happened. Obviously he missed the penalty and he was devastated, but we had a pint and that together and had a laugh about it. He's moulded a team. As I say, on paper, Charlton, you'd look at them and think individually they're not a great team, but that's the key to it. They're a team. I got offered a job at Charlton as a striker coach with a youth team, but I knew for a fact. I mean, I lived in Kent for 7 years. I knew for a fact I was moving back to the North East with my family, so I didn't think it was fair on the players at Charlton, for the young lads, for me to sign a contract. Well, everybody who knows us at Charlton, I'm a Sunderland fan, so unfortunately for that game I'd definitely be supporting Sunderland.
I don't know how he's brave enough to admit to that. How good was he, Chris?
He was alongside Ian Wright, who I played with early on in my career, best finishers I've ever played with.
It's just a shame, isn't it, that I think he picked up a bad knee injury, didn't he? And did 25 games in the Premiership? I mean, 8 goals for all that. But would he have cut it in the big league?
Most definitely, yeah. He, like you said, he had the knee injury and a back injury, and he was out for a while. And in the end, we lost him to retirement. But the time I was here and playing with him, he was an outstanding finisher. And obviously, everyone knows what happened in the playoff final. But he was a class player.
And
definitely.
he scored a penalty in the shootout as well. Do you have pleasant memories of scoring against your boyhood idols for other teams? The Hammers in your case, isn't it?
It was the Hammers, yeah. I scored quite a few against Hammers for Newcastle.
Quite a few?
Well...
Are you sure?
3 or 4, I think it was. I didn't score any for them. I would like to have scored 4 them, actually. But, I scored a few for Newcastle, especially at Upton Park. I remember once I scored a couple, and I was going to be best man for my mate in the evening. I was staying down, and he wasn't very pleased because they're all West Ham fans. So didn't make him very pleased, but I was pleased to score.
Well, it's the Valley this afternoon with Charlton and Newcastle United. Jekyll and Hyde, Charlton Athletic at the moment. They're okay, they're good here, but they don't travel particularly well. It's been tough on the road for Charlton. They let in 4 at Bolton on day 1, and that set a trend. It was 4 more when they went to Manchester City. They did get a draw against Birmingham, but they let in another 4 at Highbury. But nobody's beaten them at the Valley. Portsmouth were their first victims. Villa were well beaten when they came here. Franny Jeffers with 2 of Charlton's 3.
Jeffers, yes! by Kishishev. Melberg will need to be careful here. Jeffers in behind him, and Jeffers 2-0.
But it wasn't pretty when Southampton came here on the Monday Night Football. There was no way through this time for Jeffers. There were no goals. There was very little to cheer about. It wasn't a happy valley. But it was better the next time the Monday Night Football came here. Blackburn were the visitors. 1 goal was enough to settle it.
Murphy's clear, and the header is in. And El Karkouri gets his first goal for Charlton Athletic.
Here's the manager, Alan Kirbishley.
Given your home form so far and the boost with certain key players coming back today, this game that you should win perhaps?
Well, it's a game that I think we're all eagerly looking forward to. I think when you get a beating like we did at Arsenal, you know, the thing about football is you get another game coming up normally after a week or whatever, but we've had to wait 2 weeks. But we can't ask for a better game than Newcastle. Fantastic atmosphere here, and as you say, our home form's good, and we'll be looking to keep that record.
You talked about the players gelling. Have they done that?
I don't think so. You know, I've brought players in, and you know, they come in late, and we've had a topsy-turvy start, and international breaks coming up thick and fast. But we've got an opportunity now for at least 6 weeks before another one comes along, and I'm hoping, yeah, that we will get to gel a little bit better, and our performances will be a little bit better.
Entertainment-wise, you've given us a couple of horrors on Sky so far. Who improved today?
Well, we've done quite well for you last year, but there was other teams involved in the horrors as well. But let's see. I think that this is a game, as I say, I think the fans eagerly look forward to it. We're looking forward to it, and let's hope it's a better game for you, but the same results for us.
Good luck.
Thank you.
The away form will be a puzzle to him, Chris, won't it? But that's not to worry about today. You can't do much more than win 3 from 4, can you, at the Valley?
That's right. I mean, this year has been a strange season for Charlton because generally away from home, very good. Won a lot of away games last year, and this year, I mean, they've conceded 13 in 4. You know, I know Alan isn't happy with that at all. But at home, you know, in return, I mean, 3 home wins and a draw where I think they felt they should have won. You know, you can't ask for any more, but it's a big test today. I think it's their biggest test so far at home.
Might have something to do with his best defenders being away on loan at the moment. You never know.
Possibly.
He did make mention of a number of signings. Of course, one of those, Danny Murphy, who joined from Liverpool, and I think what surprised a few people in the summer was that he chose Charlton Athletic ahead of Spurs, but that wasn't the hardest part of his decision. He would tell you that was the leaving of Liverpool.
Obviously, after being at club 7-8 years, and then you get told that maybe you surplus the requirements, it's difficult to deal with. I'm not used to that. So yeah, for a week or two, I probably wasn't mentally right, which affected me physically. Probably the last month, I'm at my fighting weight now. I feel fresher. I feel more at home. I feel more settled. Got to know the lads better. You know, the staff, not just the football staff, but the staff around the place, the kit men, the medical. You know, the canteen women even, you know, they've got an hour to have me a cup of tea ready in the morning and stuff like that. So familiarity, it's nice, and I'm starting to feel much more part of it now. And hopefully the lads, you know, have seen you know, welcome me in now as well. So that's important.
How'd you take your tea?
Strong with 1 sugar.
Many people would see your move here in terms of a career move as a backward step. Do you see it that way?
But yeah, I agree. I mean, it is a step down, but anywhere I was given the choice to go was going to be a step down. And if I try and convince myself or anyone else otherwise, I'd be lying. 95% of my time there was fantastic. You know, I had success there. It was the club. It was still the club I love, and I loved my time there. There's no doubt about that. But there was a spell towards the end where it became hard work because things weren't going well, and I didn't feel as though I was enjoying myself. You know, enjoying going into work and being there. So I'll readily admit that. But the majority of the time was fantastic, and at the moment I'm back to looking forward to going in every day, which was missing for 6 or 12 months of my career.
Life seems to be less complicated now. Does that help?
It's less intense, I think it's the best word. Playing at Liverpool is pressure. It's a collective pressure at Liverpool more than individual to succeed, to win games, to win trophies. it's become a little bit more individual down here, because I think I've been brought in on a decent fee, a few million quid, and people expect me to perform because I've been at Liverpool and I have performed in the past at this level. I expect that from myself, never mind the fans and the staff. I mean, I have my own expectation levels that probably exceed anyone else's. Now what I need to make sure to do is that I focus and get to them levels and prove to people that I can do it, even though I'm in a lesser team, if you like.
I don't think it was directly attributed to you, but the boss said the midfield couldn't pass water at times so far this season.
Well, listen, quotes from players and managers are distorted and misinterpreted all the time. I speak to the gaffer on an individual basis enough to know that he's completely behind me and the team. He knows that we're capable of more. I know that we're capable of more, and I'm capable of more. There's no point hiding that, because I know that I can do better. I will do better, there's no question. So I'm looking forward, not back. We're in the top half of the table. Our home form's been decent, but we still nicked a draw in a game where we played awfully. If we can pick up our away form, then things are looking positive.
And when he said a step down coming to Charlton, he obviously meant only a very small step down in coming to Charlton. Danny Murphy, 27 now, hasn't scored yet in the 8 starts that he's made at Charlton. Different culture. Wanted to play for an English coach, he said, or an English-speaking coach, which is the reason, amongst others, that he came to Charlton Athletic. He's been critical, Chris, of his own performances today. There's better to come from Danny Murphy, isn't there?
I think so. He's a class player, and the times before I went on loan, training with him, you could see his quality. Obviously, he's played for Liverpool and England, but I think he's worked hard with the sports scientist Nick Davis, and his weight's come down, and he's settled in a bit more. It's always a big adjustment when you move clubs, especially whether you go from south to north or vice versa. But there's more to come from him, and I think we'll see it over the course of the season.
And he must have come back from his holiday this year, Rob, thinking I'm part of something special at Anfield, despite the change of manager, only to be told you're on your way. Is that difficult to come to terms with, as he said?
Yeah, I think it would be, because at the time he's also, don't forget, he's an England international.
It's like not being given a squad number as well, isn't it? I mean,
it's not that bad, but I've endured worse. But it just shows how far Charlton have come again. I mean, when they compete with the likes of Tottenham to get an England international, they actually buy an England international. Charlton Athletic to buy an England internationals. I think it just shows how far they've come in 12, 15 years. I mean, as Chris says, he's a good player. He hasn't become a bad player overnight. All right, he's probably joined a smaller club than he was used to at Liverpool, but I think he should start shining very, very soon. I say it takes a little bit when you go from the north to the south or vice versa, but I'll be very surprised if you don't start playing well soon.
We'll be hearing from Jim Davidson in a moment or so. We are at the Valley with Charlton and Newcastle United. One apiece in December 2001. Newcastle were in front late on when Gary Speed scored, only just, into the corner. Charlton hit back with a goal from their substitute, Charlie McDonald, who's now playing for non-league Crawley. Jim's got a box at the Valley, where it's now raining, as you can see, and we'll be hearing from him when we come back. We'll also be hearing from the Newcastle boss, Graham Souness, who's got a win from Newcastle at last. Can they keep the run going today?
We got Sky Plus because of the record and the pausing of live TV.
You know, you got to pop off to the loo and just pause the show that you're watching and come back.
When you're watching 15 hours of cricket, it's quite good for that.
It's very easy and simple to pick up. You can record your sport and then, you know, watch what your wife wants to watch.
Upgrade to Sky Plus. To find out more, call 08702 40 50 45.
Since the beginning of time, survival has depended on quick responses and effective propulsion. Introducing the new Mondeo ST TDCi, the most powerful 16-valve diesel in its class. quick responses save lives.
Great first touch. FIFA Football 2005.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Churchill, Roosevelt.
Stalin to Sarah Milton, 8 Mill Close immediately.
With broadband from BT, you can discover a whole new world right behind your phone socket.
Number 1 in the charts, Hamps banner to James Pike, 10 Low Street.
Hi. Oh yes, James Pike has bought an iPod.
Okay, guys, we've got a first-time downloader.
No, it's okay. This isn't dial-up. It's much faster.
Cool.
Up to 3 times faster than some broadbands, it costs from just $17.99 a month. Visit bt.com and access the true power of broadband. BT, more power to you.
There's Champions League football Tuesday and Wednesday night this week on Sky Sports. Tuesday it's a 7 o'clock start. Real Madrid feature on Sky Sports 2 against Dynamo Kiev. It's Juventus and Bayern Munich on Sky Sports Extra. Also available via our interactive facility on the night. Simultaneously live, Bayer Leverkusen against Roma, Ajax meet Maccabi Tel Aviv. It's Monaco against Olympiacos and Fenerbahce against Lyon. That's Tuesday night. Wednesday it's a 6 o'clock start. Arsenal go to Panathinaikos. That's on Sky Sports 2. Chelsea meet CSKA Moscow. That's on Extra, where you will also be able to access the Celtic game. They play Shakhtar Donetsk. Milan play on the night against Barcelona. PSG meet Porto, the champions. Valencia play Inter. Rosenborg play PSV. And Anderlecht meet Werder Bremen. That's Wednesday night, 6 o'clock start. This afternoon, Super Sunday finds us at the Valley with Charlton and Newcastle United. We are interactive, of course. As we always say, push the red button on the remote control, follow the instructions. That's where you'll be able to access the entertainment for the afternoon. Now, the season before last, Newcastle came here and won for the first time. Jason Ewell brought down Craig Bellamy, who of course had something to say about the challenge. Alan Shearer scored. And Nobby Solano nipped in to make it 2. Now, we did promise a very special guest. Mark Bolton has been out to find him.
Well, he did say box number 7. I hope he's in. He promised he would be, but he is. Jim, how are you?
I heard you sneaking up.
Thanks for the invite. Come on, show us round.
Hello, viewers. This is the box. Come in.
Oh dear. Here we go. How long
This
have
is
you?
your girlfriend? This is Michelle.
How long have you been here, Jim?
3 years I've had this box now.
I think it'd be the last year because I'm off to live in Dubai for a lot of the time. So it means I'll hopefully get a season ticket over the other side and fly back from Dubai every Saturday to watch the game, or every other Saturday anyway.
Hard life, isn't it?
Well, hard work, mate. Hard work, you know. But I'd say I walk 1,000,000 miles to see Charlton. So flying 4,000 miles is not that hard, really.
Why, John? How long have you been coming here?
Well, I grew up in Charlton, and I went to school in Charlton, and I believe that you support your local team. It's very easy to support Man United and Arsenal that win every week, and I'm sure their supporters love them just as much as I love Charlton. But Charlton's an event. It's a family event. I've been coming here for years. My brothers have been coming here. Even my brother who died a couple of months ago, we brought his ashes here. I was surprised he never got up and left before the end. He normally did. But, you know, it's that type of place. Once you get here, and you never leave.
You got the centenary shirt on. Are you amazed how far this club's come in, what, the last 15 years?
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? I never went to any of the other grounds when Charlton were playing elsewhere. I'm a bit of a fair weather fan, I'm afraid, but the fans have stayed loyal to them, and look what they got now. It's great. I think this is a great team, great manager, of course, Curbs, and a good board. Pete Varney, the chief executive, knows exactly where he's going, and he's backed up by the chairman and all the rest of them. I just think this is a club that is really going places. All we've got to do is win a few games.
You've always reminded me in some ways of Andy Gray. There's a slight resemblance there. You've been a double.
Yeah, people used to say I look like Andy Gray, and I probably will again in about 10 years, probably, Andy. All right, boy.
What's the Newcastle connection? Because you're good mates with Freddie Shepherd, aren't you?
I love Freddie Shepherd. He's a great guy. He always welcomes me up to Newcastle when I go there and takes the mickey. And Alan Shearer, I've had a couple of games. I actually got Alan Shearer singing Flower of Scotland in the bar of Glen Eagles, you know, when he was England captain. That's pretty good going, isn't it? And so I always say to him, don't score against Charlton, but he always seems to. He always has a good game when he comes here. The fans give him a bit of stick, Alan, because he's quite a tough player, but I love him, and I love Freddie Shepherd as well. So maybe we'll only beat them about 4-0 today, that's all.
Thanks for joining us. You've got some entertaining to do. Your guests have just arrived,
yeah,
actually, so we'll leave you to it.
That's me brother and my sister-in-law. Jim Davidson, Sky News, looking a bit more like Andy Gray every day.
We have checked that story, incidentally, and it has been confirmed by Alan Shearer. Some debate at the moment as to whether David Beckham should be stripped of the England captaincy. Had we known that back then, Rob, I think that same debate would have taken place, wouldn't it?
If you've heard him sing, he should have been straight out. I mean, I've heard him sing a few times. It's not nice, and I would have stripped him straight of the England captaincy.
Well, two managers, of course, for Newcastle United so far this season. Two very different stories to their season as well. Of course, the Geordie Knight has gone. Things didn't go to plan for Sir Bob in his last 4 games in charge. Middlesbrough on day 1 was typical. 2-1 up Newcastle, but Hasselbank equalised in injury time. And it got worse. Spurs beat them at St James's Park. They were 2-0 up at home against Norwich. Again, they couldn't kill the game off. 2-2 the final score. The manager was now under real pressure. He left Shearer on the bench for the trip to Villa Park. Yet again, Newcastle couldn't hold on to a lead. 2-1 up at one stage, they lost 4-2. It was Sir Bob's last game in charge. The new manager, Graham Souness, was on a watching brief as Newcastle met Blackburn. And the Geordies won comfortably. A Flitcroft own goal put them in front. Shearer got the second. Andy O'Brien made it 3.
Lovely turn, and it's 3-0. Andy O'Brien.
His first match proper in charge was at Southampton, where Newcastle hadn't won for 32 years. They did this time. Stephen Carr with the winner. Back at St James's, Patrick Kluivert continued to reward his manager's faith in him. He got the first in a 3-1 against West Brom. In their last game at Birmingham, they had to settle for a point, despite being in front again.
It's broken here for Patrick Kluivert, blocked by Cunningham. Ginas! 1-0 Newcastle. David Dunn. And he's got the timing of the run right. The flag has stayed down. It's Dwight York. It's payback time. Dwight York scores against Graham Souness's Newcastle. ball in, away by Clapham. Oh, what a response from Nicky Butts! Wonderful goal!
Graham Souness is with Mark Bolton.
No Patrick Kluivert. Craig Bellamy pushes up front instead. A change you're comfortable with?
Yeah, I think it's a partnership that's worked before. Today's going to be a hard game for us. There are two that must do their job, but we've got another 9 that must do their job if we're going to get anything today. Charlton are a hard-working team. We have to match that first and foremost, and if we do that, we have a good chance against them today.
The way form has been, and the way that you've almost broken the away hoodoo, as it were, do you expect to come here and win?
Well, I think I've got a group of players that can go anywhere and win. But on any given day, you've got to take the opposition into account as well. If we're prepared to match Charlton for the work rate today, we could get a result today. If we're not prepared to do that, for whatever reason, then we could easily come unstuck today. But it's not going to be an easy game for either team, I don't think. Could be exciting. We only know how to go about our business one way, and that's to chase and try and score goals. And I think Charlton will come after us as well, so it should be a good day's football.
Results have improved since you've come in. Have you noticed an improvement in terms of attitude and application?
Well, I think it's. I think the time to make that judgment will be at the end of the season. You know, we at Newcastle have a fantastic group of players. Obviously, I've come in, wanted to install some new ideas, maybe upset some people by picking, a team that didn't involve themselves, but that's a manager's job. I've got to pick a team that I think is right for the day. There'll be some people who are on the bench who think they should be in the team, but that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be any different to that. And we'll see how the game pans out. Those people might get a chance to come on and change the game for us if we're chasing it, or we feel we need to make a change. But that's part of managing a big club. You've got decisions to make.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
What does it take to manage Newcastle United?
Wish I knew. I mean, I think Bobby Robson done a very, very good job for a certain amount of time, 4 or 5 years, and found himself out of a job early on. I think every now and again, probably Man United and Arsenal apart, clubs need a bit of a change. They go a little bit stale. Players perhaps get a little bit too familiar with the manager, and a new manager's come in, new ideas. As far as I'm aware, they like his ideas. I think he's got a great deal of respect in the game, Graham Souness. Always has had, from when he played to when he's managed. He's won trophies wherever he's been, and I think the biggest thing he'll have is if he actually wins a trophy for Newcastle, it'll be a fantastic achievement. I mean, probably the biggest in his career, and he's won a lot. So it's very, very tough to win the trophy for Newcastle.
I think 1 or 2 expected fireworks before now. He's tiptoed about to this point, but plainly he's prepared to confront Laurent Robert, who obviously he's making a reference to there. Maybe he gets his chance to change the game. And Craig Bellamy to some degree as well. Is that what perhaps Sir Bob wasn't doing late on? It needed somebody bigger in the dressing room.
I don't know about bigger. Maybe so. As I said, maybe they got just a little bit familiar with Bobby and with obviously Graham Souness' reputation coming in. It's just a different man with different ideas. I mean, obviously early on he's realised that when they do play away from home, Laurent Robert, I think, gives them a lot. But obviously when he's not playing well, defensively he's very, very poor, and he costs Newcastle a lot of goals. So he's obviously realised that very early on and decided he's especially away from home, he's not going to play him. And it takes a big man and a brave manager to make those decisions.
Jermaine Genius is starting under Souness. Of course he did under Bobby Robson, and it's been a good week for him. He got his first competitive start for England on Wednesday night, and he was a popular boy when he got back to Newcastle.
It's by far the biggest test of his short international career so far.
It was very enjoyable to get my first start. It was a bit of an emotional period, for me and my family. Obviously, stepping out there for England, it was a great experience. I didn't have nothing to prove. The manager made that very clear to me before the game. It was just about me going out there and doing a job for England.
It's a winning Premiership debut as Newcastle manager for Graham Souness, and you can see just how much that means to him.
He's obviously came in and changed a few little bits here and there, in terms of style of play and what we play like away from home and what we play like at home. And up to now it's worked. It's worked really well for us. The lads are working hard, and I think we're getting the results that we deserved. But I think if you look probably towards the start of the season, a few results could have gone our way there, so it was always going to come round at some point. want to win things. At the end of the day, I don't think it would even matter what management was in. You know, we would want to win, and we've always wanted to win. You know, trophies at this club. You know, we know how big the club is, and we know how much it means to the club and to the city as a whole. So, you know, with the new management coming in, he's obviously made it clear that he wants to win something as well. So, hopefully, if we keep working hard, you know, we might get something.
Craig Bellamy, 1-0 Newcastle.
I think if you look at some of the names on the paper and some of the, you know, the strikers that we've got, it'd be difficult to not look at us as an attacking force. You know, we've got some pace, some great finishing, and you know, some great attacking qualities in the team. So you know, it's difficult to say that we're not an attacking side, but I just think, you know, when you're playing away from home, you just got to slightly adjust it. You know, this game against Charlton on Sunday, you know, it's a tough one, and they're not always football matches. Sometimes they're battles, you know, and you know you got to fight the battle first before you start playing your football.
Well, I keep saying about Jermaine Jenas, Rob, great prospect, but is he like one or two more at Newcastle United, still trying to find a position? And if indeed that is the case, what is he?
Well, I think he can be exactly what he wants to be. I mean, he's got everything a midfield player. I mean, he's over 6 foot tall. He's very, very quick. He's got a fantastic engine. He can run all day, score goals, he defends. Everything a midfielder you'd want in a modern day midfielder. I think perhaps he suffered a little bit when he came in his first year at Newcastle. He won Young Player of the Year, and I think maybe last season he went off the ball a little bit. Maybe he started to believe a little bit of his own publicity, and. I think he's back now and he's playing very, very well, and I expect him to go on and be a big player for Newcastle.
He wants to play in the centre of midfield. Funny that, isn't it?
Hey, most of us do. You're much more involved in the centre midfield. I mean, there's a few at Newcastle want to play in there. It's competition is hot in the centre of midfield, and but I think if he gets pushed wide, I don't think he'll have it.
If you get given a jersey, you play, don't you? Isn't that the first rule?
Yeah, I always did. I mean, I got pushed from pillar to post when I was playing for a good number of years. I think eventually, as you get older, you want to play in a position where you're comfortable. I think when you're young and you've got legs and you've got enthusiasm.
You're making me laugh. The position where you're comfortable now is, well, you don't have to get about much.
Well, that was me. Other players do run around a lot. I was just more comfortable sitting in there and passing it.
Incidentally, there's a special presentation taking place today by Sven-Göran Eriksson to Graham Stewart, Chris, to mark his 500th senior appearance, which took place in the last Charlton game against Blackburn here. Now there's a good pro, isn't it, all these years later?
Well, Graham and I, we actually went to school together, so
Blimey, did you?
Many years ago, and it's a fantastic achievement for Graham. He's on his own now because I'm away on loan, and we're sort of called the old gits because we're the two oldest players, and he's on his own, and but it's a great achievement for him. But he doesn't endear himself to the boys because he loves Speedway. He's always on Sky doing
yes,
Speedway.
Yes, he is. He's our Speedway correspondent, isn't
I'm sure he would have played more games if he didn't go to those Speedway meets.
Well, something is likely to give today. Charlton are good at home. Newcastle United are unbeaten under Graham Souness. And our match commentators this afternoon, Jim Davidson. Jim Davidson. And
I tell you, you're so predictable.
I know.
I tell you, 14 years down the line.
I'm sorry, son.
I've written down here, he'll introduce me as Jim Davidson.
I was going to make mention of Bernard Manning, but I didn't go there, you see, so you were lucky.
Mark's a lot thinner than him, I tell you.
And certainly not as funny, but a bit cleaner at her. It's a historic day for Charlton, isn't it? And with all sorts of presentations going on. And This is Moira Bartram, the daughter of the great Sam Bartram, who played more games for Charlton than anybody else, 623 I think, and the last time she was at the Valley was the day that Sam Bartram retired. She was 10 years old. She's come over from the United States today.
She looked extremely proud here, didn't she? And very, very moved at that presentation. That's nice. It's great for Charlton. I mean, my abiding memory, the one I have of playing at the Valley, was actually when I was at Wolves and we'd gone down and we're in Division 2, and we actually clinched promotion back into Division 1 at the Valley, and a 3-3 draw. So I have some good memories of the old Valley.
Well, let's hope you have some more in a couple of hours' time. Let's have a look at the team news. And Charlton have their captain back for only the second time this season. Matt Holland's only other start was at Bolton on the opening day. He joins a midfield which includes 2 summer signings in Danny Murphy, who often did well for Liverpool against Newcastle, and the Dane Dennis Rommedahl, who hasn't really got going yet in his short time in England. Striker Kevin Lisby celebrates his 26th birthday today, but who to play alongside him was a major decision for Alan Kirbishley. He's gone for Sean Bartlett, who, like Holland, has been out of the team since August. Graham Souness has lost his joint top scorer. Patrick Kluivert has a damaged hamstring. So Craig Bellamy is pushed forward alongside Alan Shearer, and the midfield vacancy is filled by Darren Ambrose, who gets his first Premiership action of this campaign. Newcastle's quartet in that department also includes the former Charlton player Lee Bowyer and 2 of England's midfield men in Azerbaijan on Wednesday, Jermaine Jenas and Nicky Butt. And after a month out, Shola Amiobi is back on the bench.
Well, as formations go, it'll pretty much be like for like. I don't see Alan Kirbishley doing anything other than picking a 4-4-2 formation. Pretty strong at the back. Young, Fortune, Perry and Ryderson will have to work very hard. Trouble when you play against Shearer and Bellamy. If you drop off, take deep positions, it suits Alan Shearer. Suits him getting the ball up to him, holding it up. If you decide you're going to push up the pitch and nullify Shearer a little bit, you've got to worry about Bellamy running in behind you. So the centre-backs are going to have to dictate good starting positions from there. Midfield, I've got not a problem on, but these 4 along here have got to have energy, they've got to have legs, and they've got to work very hard. Rob Lee touched on it. Newcastle have got a youthful and a really energetic quartet in their map, and if they don't cope with that, again, there could be problems. But if they get the ball forward, they've got to get the front 2 working. This is a side that only has 2 players in it that have scored Premiership goals this season, and 2 of them have come from the right back. No such problems from Graham Souness in picking a formation. This is what he likes. The question was, would Robert get selected, or would he change it away from home? He's gone with Darren Ambrose again here, because I do think that Graham feels, like Rob Lee was saying, that they are a bit vulnerable down that side with Robert away from home. It's a talented side, this. It does start favourite, and rightly so. There are goals all over this side. Charlton have got to play very, very well to win today.
Well, a special afternoon in the history of Charlton Athletic, a chosen fixture in their centenary season. They had to get permission from the Premier League to wear this commemorative kit. It's a stripe with the dates on it against the famous black and white stripes of Newcastle United. And having finally ended a long, barren run on their travels by taking 3 points at Southampton, Newcastle United would love nothing more than to gate-crash Charlton's party with another away win. It's a red-letter day for the Red Red Robins from South East London, and it's live right after the break.
So where do I start? Plant a penny? Plenty of water, Shazam, I got me a money tree.
No, you gotta follow it up. Use the right tools. Guy I knew was a bona fide arborist.
What?
Oh, never mind. Let's just say he had every gizmo going. You had a job, needed a certain tool, bingo, he had it. And he never fobbed you off with long-handled secateurs, and what you needed was a vine lopper.
Well, if it's down to the tools, that's easy. I could grow me a money tree, I had the right tools.
You think so? Wrenching a tub of grease doesn't make you an engineer, you know.
Our expertise helps you choose the right investment tools. Barclays, fluent in finance.
Here we are in Bolton, and me and the gang are in town to do another doorstep challenge.
I don't care whose it is, it's floating.
Hello, would you swap these 2 large packets of ordinary powder for your 1 packet of biological powder?
Yeah.
Have you or any member of your family had an accident in the past 3 years? Been bitten by your neighbor's dog or suffered a fall through no fault of your own? Then you...
Hello. Here's a little song for anyone who's ever hated. Can hate be good? Can hate be great? Can hate be good? Can hate be great? Can hate be something we don't hate? We'd like to know why it is so that certain diesels must be slow and thwack and thrum and plong and hum and clatter clack. Oh, isn't it just bliss when a diesel goes like this? Hate something, change something, hate something, change something, make something better. Hate is a good thing. Hate something, change something.
The Heineken Cup is back with 6 big games live on Sky Sports. Next Friday at 7, Charlton Athletic take on Toulouse. Next Saturday, 12:30, the Dragons face Newcastle, followed by Stade Francais Gloucester. Then on Sky Sports 3, Munster take on Quins. And next Sunday, 12:30, it's Glasgow Northampton, followed by London Wasps clash with Biarritz. A big weekend of Heineken Cup rugby, live only on Sky Sports.
It's a Super Sunday from the Valley this afternoon with Charlton and Newcastle. We're interactive, of course. Push the red button on the remote control, follow the instructions. That's where you'll find the entertainment that we have available. Player cam amongst those features. We'll be following, I believe, Danny Murphy for the first 10-15 minutes of this half. It is indeed Danny Murphy on player cam first up. Let's join our match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. It's a chilly, damp afternoon in southeast London, but a match full of warming prospects. A Charlton win would put them level on points with Manchester United, which they would have settled for at this stage of the season. And Newcastle can end the day 4th in the table. Victory at the Valley would do the trick for Newcastle United. Here's Benar.
I think that's a huge incentive, isn't it? This early in the season, this early in Graham Souness's reign, and the players here at Newcastle, knowing today a win takes you, tucks you in behind Everton, top 4.
Well, Graham had ghastly memories of his last visit here in February, when his Blackburn equalised in the last minute. Brad Friedel, only for the goalkeeper to be beaten in injury time, and Charlton won that game. Blackburn, of course, were the last visitors here to the Valley. Charlton beat them 1-0. Mark Hughes' Blackburn then, of course. It was a very tight game. And although Charlton have done extremely well at home, in fact, they're unbeaten at the Valley since March, it doesn't really tell the true story. They're a little bit short on performance, as their away results have rather indicated.
Well, that was a right
Matt
idea.
Holland is back.
Yeah, that'll be a boost for them. There's no doubt about that.
Stephen Carr, Genius, who impressed in his first England start on Wednesday, and of course he was sure helped by his clubmate Nicky Butt playing in Sven-Göran Eriksson's midfield. With bits and pieces before in friendly games, 7 substitute appearances, but that was the real thing. It was a good result for England, as it turned out, with Poland winning in Wales later that evening. It's an important result. Such a good night for Craig Bellamy of Newcastle, who's trying to see where this ball might drop. Chris Perry heads it away. Genus. Carr, but trying to join in. Lee Bowyer, who of course started life with Charlton before moving to Leeds United, where he really got into the limelight one way or another. One of the reasons that Genus is on the right-hand side is to stop Herman Haridason, who can be quite a buccaneering left-back.
Oh, not half. I think that's one reason you play Graham Stewart there as well. You know he's not going to hang on this touchline, Graham Stewart, all the time. There's going to be space for Haridason to gallop on past him. But what a positive start this has been from Newcastle.
Darren Ambrose, who's got the nod ahead of Laurent Robert and James Milner, of course. Here's Genus. Charlton struggling to get the ball away.
But you can see already how slick the surface is. It's been a downpour for an hour before the game. It really has slicked up the surface, so first touch is important. It arrives at you normally at speed on the surface like this, so first touch has got to be good.
Newcastle, of course, undefeated under Graham Souness. 4 wins and a draw. Very good going indeed. Lukia. Jonathan Fortune, who's kept his place in the team. Mark Fish, close to fitness again after a bout of that viral conjunctivitis that actually affected Newcastle so badly at the start of their season. Fish's problems, good fortune for Jonathan Fortune. Perry, the tallest centre-back, but he was up well there against Shearer.
I think Alan Shearer will just, any ball that's coming long from a goalkeeper, they'll attach himself with Chris Perry. He'll fancy his chances against him. He knows Fortune, he's a good bit bigger than him. Different prospect altogether. So I think we see Shearer get on Chris Perry and hope to win a few.
Andy O'Brien, part of the Newcastle's Republic of Ireland contingent, who represented their country with the distinction, particularly in France last weekend. O'Brien, Stephen Carr, and of course the goalkeeper Shay Given. 2 Irish goalkeepers today, at least in terms of football nationalities. Team Kylie was actually born in Manchester. Shearer. Here is Kylie. He's also got his version of the centenary kit. He's pretty similar to the black and white of Newcastle.
Not far away, is it?
Cross between the Newcastle top and the referee's top.
I'll give you a clue, he's got big gloves on.
Romadal, the Dane, plenty of pace. Haridason just threaded it through. Stewart. Now Murphy coming to terms with life in a different style of red shirt. But there's no doubt his love for Liverpool will remain. It's probably not next Saturday afternoon. That's Anfield is where Charlton play, and you can see that game on Sky Sports. It's a 5:15 kickoff.
Well done. That's good defending. Good to see he did disengage it, even though he was deep in Newcastle's half. Jonathan Fortune, he stuck with it.
Stewart's throw, collected by Holland. First time from Haridason. Was tight on Lisby. And here's Craig Bellamy. Had to make do in a wide midfield position in recent games with Patrick Kluivert, not only in the team but scoring plenty of goals as well.
Good support he had there as well, Bellamy. Well, you don't expect Shearer, having played the pass to Bellamy, to catch him up, but Bowyer and Ambrose certainly did.
Genus. Newcastle been scoring plenty of goals. Jermaine Genus was on target in their last match at Birmingham, which ended the winning run but not the unbeaten run.
And another midfield player scoring, so it's good that we've got 2 midfield players scoring in the same game.
Sean Bartlett, who's had ankle problems.
They're not the biggest side, Newcastle, are they now?
Ryderson got it away, and Nicky Butt, who hit that goal that stunned his old Manchester United teammate Steve Bruce at St Andrews. Didn't catch out Charlton here, didn't catch the ball at all right.
Well, at least the one at St Andrews, they hit into the ground. The difference.
Newcastle, of course, in UEFA Cup action coming up next week. They've got a trip to Greece. Remember, they reached the semi-finals last season. O'Brien. It's a fairly stern challenge by Holland from behind. Peter Walton, the referee, giving Newcastle a free kick. Shearer heads on. Bowyer, who loves to run on. And it's surprising, given the goals that Newcastle have been getting from most areas of the team, that Lee Bowyer hasn't been amongst them.
I think he'll just be happy at the moment. He'll be getting a regular game for such a long time in a black and white shirt. Manager's showing a lot of confidence in him. And with that confidence will surely come goals.
Yes, and he's playing in a more central position, which he does like to do, and of course more likely perhaps to get into the goal-getting positions that he managed so often with Leeds. Benar. Deflection on the cross. Comes out to Ambrose. Now Butt. Shearer trying to tee it up. Rather backing off. Alvarado trying to stop Benar making some progress. So he partially does. It's a deep ball that Alan Shearer is so good at judging the trajectory. It is a bit windy, even though there's steep sides around the stadium.
Yeah, that and a bit of pressure from Ryderson didn't make it easy.
It's hoisted in by Robbie Elliott, who I must say has made a surprising return to Newcastle this season. He was some 19 months out of the team. He started 6 of the last 7. And Titus Bramble, who is fit again, had a reserve game in midweek, travelled down with the Newcastle party, but isn't in the 16. He's had a groin problem. But Robbie Elliott, good Geordie lad himself, is relishing the chance to play for Newcastle United again. Oh, a bit of hesitation there by Fortune, and you can't do that with Bellamy around. Genius. But
Well, I think what we're seeing is a measure of the growing confidence in this Newcastle side with the start, the opening 10 minutes. They've had plenty of possession, they've looked to slick it about. Oh, pretty good. It's not bad, the first 10 minutes in a match away from home. Not much pressure.
The last defeat, of course, was at Aston Villa, the game that turned out to be Sir Bobby Robson's swan song. Up between Bartlett and Lisby, and Romadal involved as well. They had a man over Graham Stewart. If Lisby could have just fashioned a sort of setup, but Arsenal managed for Robert Pires for that third goal at Highbury yesterday. Shay Given, incidentally, is on tenterhooks. His wife is due to give birth for the Given's first child any day now. The Newcastle admin staff have got the mobile phones on just in case.
Again, Lee Bowyer way ahead of the ball there, looking to be played in. Didn't quite happen.
Stewart. Murphy. Stewart again. Lisby. Murphy
See, he was looking for, but you see in situations like that, Martin, I'm amazed that Sean Bartlett, who we know, he's very good in the air, exceptional climber of the ball. Now, if I was Sean Bartlett, I'd have looked at this back four that I'm playing against, and who are the two smallest defenders I've got? They're the left hand. There's Elliott and there's Bernard, and he tries to make that run across the face, and if I was him, I'd be saying pulling away on the shoulder into that little gap between the two centre backs, and I'd be thinking, I really fancy my chances here. I'm a little surprised that Charlton haven't really identified that and thought, let's do that.
Shearer, Genius, oh, brilliant footwork. Bowyer, Genius.
Well, look at Shearer. Right, did you see him? Both hands up. I mean, they worked it brilliantly, but he was never comfortable with the right foot, the outside of it in the end. But just watch, Shearer pops that pass off and he comes round the back here and he just finds himself in acres. He was never quite right to hit the shot like that. Great feet here. Absolutely top draw, that. Spin on the ball didn't help him either.
But what would Alan Shearer have done if he'd have been in Genius's position? Well, he'd put the ball in the net, probably.
Yeah, he might have scored.
He certainly wouldn't have been thinking about passing to a teammate on the right-hand side.
Well, to be fair to Al, he's created as many as he scored, I bet you, down the years.
As many as he scored?
I bet he's not far off it. I bet he's not far off it. Well, we'll never find out, will we?
I wasn't criticising the creative suggestion, but he has scored a lot.
Yeah, I know your suggestion.
Here's Murphy. And Stewart! That's a tremendous stop by Shay Given. Well, no distractions on what's happening in the Given household. The goalkeeping's of high order here.
Oh, they work it brilliantly. Danny Murphy, top class. He waited, he took a touch in it. He sucks everyone towards him. Look at the black and white shirts. And it just leaves a little bit of space. He'd like to have sent it out a yard further, Graham Stewart, to be absolutely perfect. And that's the first we've seen of Charlton. They'll be happier with that.
His consistency is almost without parallel. Only David James with Liverpool has played more consecutive Premiership games. It's number 138 in a row for Shay Given in his current sequence. And with that sort of save, there's going to be plenty more. It might be needed here because Newcastle have conceded a free kick.
That was an important save because it really would have been a kick in the teeth. 14 minutes of controlling the ball, controlling the pressure, controlling the tempo, and there might well be a goal down. Newcastle United.
Romadal too deep.
It's not going out, Martin. Can I tell you something? It's not out. It didn't go for a throw. The ball boy caught it. He thought it went out from the cross. The little guys jumped up and caught it. Watch this, I don't think it goes for a throw, but it stays in. So there he goes, the little boy comes up. Look, it's not going out. How can he give a throw?
Bellamy breaks off Fortune, collected by Genius. Lee Bowyer's gone bombing forward again.
That's a sloppy ball from Craig Bellamy. I have to say, Bowyer has been right at it, making those runs. And Shearer drops deep.
And Genius has been right at it on the ball.
Yeah.
Headed by Elliott. Here's Young. Murphy. Still going. He's a good, honest, professional Danny Murphy, and he wasn't appealing. One or two of the crowd were starting to roar in his support, but just went a little bit too far in the end. Ambrose trying to match with a similar run.
That's better from Charlton. One or two of the midfield players now getting the other side of the direct opponents. Danny Murphy doing it there.
And that might hold the key to the game,
yes,
Andy, because they're prepared to have a crack here, aren't they, in sense of adventure, both teams. Carr, there's Genius forward again, and Murphy's had to come back with him. Now Stewart, with the Charlton quartet. Romadal with quick thinking at the free kick. Ryderson. Now Lisby. It's got plenty of pace about his game. Need to get beyond O'Brien, and he's done that. It needed Elliott, who wanted to tackle with his left foot, which was perhaps the risky foot.
It was, but he got it just about right. But that's good to see. To Kevin Lisby, just going right at the defender, taking him on, testing Andy O'Brien. So Alan Kirbyshire would have wanted to have seen. This is better. Charlton settled now.
Fortune perhaps trying to spin around the back. Doesn't get to him. Headed away by Elliott. Might get to Fortune now. The flag is up.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt Fortune was off, but was Lisby? That would be the only question I would ask, is that spins up. Ooh, just about, just about. Assuming it did come off for Irison's head, of course. Now this is a run from Murphy, and I think Robbie Elliott's intervention there's timely, Martin, because that was a clumsy tackle from O'Brien. He turned his back, wrong leg, and had Elliott not been so close and got a foot on the ball, the referee might have had a decision to make.
Genus has given it away, played it against Lisby. Romadal, who is a real sprinter.
That's unlucky.
If Lisby had got a touch then, the angle would have been inviting.
Well, that's what I expected from this guy. Talking to a few Charlton fans, have been a little bit disappointed, particularly away from home with Dennis Romadal.
By the way, talk to the Charlton management.
Yeah,
they're disappointed.
Same, yeah.
But it's early days for Dennis Romadal in England. But against Newcastle last season in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup was a loser with the PSV Eindhoven. Newcastle really didn't want the international break to come. Hope that they can carry on where they had to leave off. And Charlton have had 2 long weeks to mull over, losing 4 goals away from home for the 3rd time this season. Lisby rather snatched at it.
And the ball boy can definitely pick that one up. He's keen. That's what we like to see.
He probably wants to keep warm as well.
Well, it gives you a little chance to have a look at that. Fine save, the only real save of the match, but it's the way that he's waited. He's delivered it perfectly. You could say it was just close enough. Just close enough. He'd like that, but another foot to Shea Gibbons' left.
Bowyer. There's a bit of a lunge there by Young, and the second time he got the ball. Got away with the first one. Stewart, with normally the left-sided midfield player, got tracked across. Jermaine Genus, 20 minutes gone. We're switching to him for our player cam coverage for the next few minutes. You can access it if you're a Sky Digital viewer, of course, via the red button on the remote. Ryderson. Cool touch from Carr. No stranger to London, of course. But
see, that's right. I mean, you've got to fizz balls into players, you know, and that's what you want. If you're receiving a ball, you want it with a bit of pace so you can get hold of it. And if you don't, in conditions like this, it's going to get away from you.
Stephen Carr, of course, scored in the win at Southampton that ended that dreadfully long run without an away win for Newcastle United in the Premiership. Smashing for Graham Souness to start off with that under his belt. Ryderson is back from a couple of outings with Iceland. Elliott. Good, consistent play by Perry, despite the overtures around him from Shearer. Few Tottenham connections today. There's Perry, Stephen Carr, Luke Young, and of course Tottenham haven't played yet this weekend. They're involved in our Monday night match at Fratton Park against the only team, Portsmouth, who've scored a goal against Charlton at the Valley this season. What a goal it was. Patrick Berger. It's worth watching any Portsmouth game that Berger plays in. It's no fluke. He does that on a very regular basis. Absolutely mesmerised Dean Kiley here a few weeks ago. Since then, 3 clean sheets at home for the Charlton goalkeeper. Bernard has been having a bit of a gripe about contract negotiations. The Newcastle board not going as swimmingly as he would like. Bellamy also likes a gripe from time to time.
Yeah, I think Grahamson has to be fairly pleased up to a point the way his team have started. I think the one disappointment, they've had plenty play, plenty possession, but they've not found anything in and around the 18-yard box of yet. That one little move that Genius got in and had the scuffed shot, that's the only real threat.
And on the left of the pitch there, Roy Tunks, the goalkeeping coach, back in that dugout. He was here for the Blackburn game. Blackburn were employing him a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks is a long time in football, though. Graham Souness has pretty much uprooted the Blackburn bench, if you see what I mean, to take to Newcastle. Lisby. Wasn't involved internationally over the past few days. Jamaica didn't call him, but they did call his clubmate Jason Ewell, who had to get special FIFA dispensation to represent the country of his father's birth, having played for England under-21s. Here's Ambrose, also an England under-21 player.
That's worth it. All you need is a situation like this is you're just looking for that half yard, just even a foot of space to pull the trigger. It certainly was there. It's not able to control the shot. Decent pressure.
He was in the team, of course, at the end of last season. Had a good run under Sir Bobby Robson. His only previous action in this campaign as a substitute in one of Newcastle's UEFA Cup matches. He's starting in the Premiership today. O'Brien, unusual loss of the ball and concentration, was able to make up for his error.
That's what I mean, even defenders. If you don't take the pace off that ball immediately, it's going to get away from you.
Holland. Typical piece of Bartlett work in the air on Nadal's cross.
Well, that's what I mean. I think he'll win those. And just a pity that for Charlton the ball wasn't a better one that he could have done more with.
Ambrose. Fortune's had to go across.
It's wasted again.
Murphy coming back. Very, very far by Fortune.
So it's a little rash from here.
Stewart on Shearer.
Maybe take your time with this. It's certainly in shooting range. Newcastle captain wouldn't be too happy if someone took a quick one, would he? It'll be interesting for the referee now. He's let that free kick go. That could easily have been a yellow card for Graham Stewart. He was a little late. He really did catch Nicky Butt. I think Nicky Butt was actually just asking him the question, but you know, if that's the way he's going to be, it's no bad thing.
Well, it looks like a setup for Shearer here. Romadal's the charger. Very good charger.
Shearer's complaining the Romadal was a bit close. The trouble is, when you shift it, players are quick, aren't they? They're going to cover 7 or 8.
He's very quick.
Exactly, he's going to cover 7 or 8 yards while that ball's moving 2 or 3 yards.
They're going to have another free kick anyway. Bellamy placed it first time. Ambrose the second time, and now Shearer's obviously querying the previous incident. they're putting Nicky Butt. Nicky Butt has put himself, and that's great credit to him. He's standing in front of the charger, Romadal, and a block off his approach.
Behind Shearer.
So they've left it to Ambrose. Did it pretty well, but not high enough to get over the wall. Bernard. Shearer.
Well, Matt Holland did brilliantly there. That ball dropped.
He's been burst into play. He actually missed some reserve games because the Republic of Ireland called him up. Of course, he's not really match sharp enough to play international football, but they wanted him in the group. So he's played 6 minutes at Bolton, 10 minutes as a substitute at Highbury in the last Charlton game. For a player who rarely misses matches, he's been chomping at the bit. Foul here on Bellamy.
Well, one more, I think. There's a booking coming on here, if not this one. Offside against Alan Shearer there, Kevin. Just went in a little early. They've obviously, well, they've done the homework. They're sticking Haridison on Alan Shearer, saying, he's your man. You stop him winning headers. Shearer's trying to lose him a bit of movement. He sees he spins round the back, but quite clearly doesn't get himself back on side in time.
O'Brien up well. So too Stewart for Charlton. Bartlett, Lisby, Riderson. Now Murphy seeing some space and really accelerating into it. I think he was deliberately trying to whip in towards Lisby. But again, the far post option of Bartlett ignored. Riderson. Goal kick. Kirbishley, who could write several chapters in the Charlton history that's being commemorated with this match today.
I don't understand that decision. I really don't. Maybe it's just I'm old-fashioned as well. But look at him. Eyes on the ball. You've got to use your arms. So many times we talk about that. You cannot jump unless you use your arms like that. That to me is I don't understand the decision like that. I really don't.
Clearly the Newcastle captain doesn't understand the decision either, but it's been given, and Fortune takes the subsequent free kick. Riderson should have given to try and take command. He hasn't been able to do that, and Peter Walton has seen some more illegal contact aerially.
Robbie Elliott gets in his way as much as anything here. I think it's Elliott that ends up heading it. He's backs and backs and backs in. He ends up heading it away from the goalkeeper. Watch this. But Lisby turns and faces the goalkeeper. That's the difference in that situation. That you can't do.
Matt Holland now being followed by the player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Overbalancing, and Murphy responsible for that. Bernard. Bellamy. He is darting through again. Turns it to make Bellamy in.
I would be saying much the same to him. How many times am I wanting to go into this position and totally ignore me? It's there to be slid as well. You can turn around and say, if you smash it in the top corner, that's why I didn't pass to you.
The attempt at goal reflecting the firepower that Newcastle have been showing in recent games, but thanks to Shay Given, with the best effort at goal, it didn't produce a goal. Slip footwork from Stewart. Holland needed a front man to come and show for that. Well, it was a bit late on parade.
He was under pressure, Martin. He just poked it forward, Matty Holland, hoping that there would be someone near. He knew he was under pressure.
Fortune. So sliced off Robbie Elliott's right foot. Charlton were chasing. Much more measured from the Elliott left, but Bellamy couldn't quite keep it in play. Perry. Collided with Fortune. Young. Good closing down. Shearer setting the example. Newcastle are unbeaten in their last 6 games against Charlton Athletic. One at home and drew here 0-0 last season. Stewart. Graham Stewart pushing on. Now Murphy, the back heel for Haridason. It was Lisby coming in at the far post.
Yeah, now that's the cross. It's absolutely made for his strike partner. Got involved in the build-up play, so impossible then to peel back round, but stands it up great, Haridason. Well dealt with, well dealt with.
There's a header from out-swinging corner that won the last match here for Charlton. Tanel El Kakuri, who lost his place today. Had it from a Murphy corner, but Charlton making that sort of run on this occasion. There goes Bellamy, free kick to Newcastle. Bellamy thinking about taking it quickly. Genus. Chris Perry said, that's mine.
Yeah. Well, there was a shout for handball. Back post, hands go up, certainly strikes the arm. I've always said, put them up that high and you are risking the referee point to the spot.
O'Brien. Carr. Bowyer. Murphy's down. Bowyer scores.
Referee hasn't given it. Linesman has given the free kick, Martin. I think it was a free kick. I was surprised the referee didn't see it. But they were equally... They were a bit equidistant away from this situation. You watch what happens. Just backs into him. The flag goes up right away. It was closer. That's for sure. But I thought at the time it just eases Danny Murphy, is it, out the way?
It is Danny Murphy, but there's no doubt that the referee didn't give
no, he didn't.
Charlton the free kick until the ball was in the net.
No, he didn't. Until he looked and saw the linesman.
Just trying to run it out there. And it's deflected away for a corner. Murphy back on his feet quickly and across to take the corner. Charlton worked very hard at these, trying to make the right run, maybe just He's an opponent out of the way in doing so. Headed out by Bowyer. Romadal. Will stay in for Bartlett. Good early cross. Fortune had stayed in. And Hydison well upfield as well. Good defending by Bowyer. We've seen plenty of his forward momentum and his bright running, but he got in the right place there to keep Hem and Hydison at bay defensively. Stewart. Two going for the same ball, Fortune and Lisby.
Just a little deep as well, Newcastle. Shea Given just saying to his defenders, don't want you that deep.
Kieran Dyer also missing, of course, at the moment for Newcastle. Patrick Clivert, damaged hamstring, and being injured, he's also taken the opportunity to have some dental work done, some wisdom teeth removed. Some sharp judgment there by Given.
Just about.
Shearer. Bellamy. Newcastle got plenty of players forward here. Carr in the end crosses. Back of Fortune's head. Shearer. But here's Bernard as a decoy. Now Genus is getting in each other's way, and the Newcastle players so anxious to get on the ball. Bellamy! Super goal for Newcastle United. And he's got plenty to shout about now, Craig Bellamy.
Super move. We won't see a better cross all day. Absolutely top draw. So many times I see crosses like this near post. Get frustrated when you see no one go in on the end of them. But as this comes in, just watch Bellamy as he goes and attacks the near post. Lovely ball in. Almost undefendable. Super goal.
Well, Olivier Bernard, who's trying to impress the Newcastle directors in his contract negotiations. Certainly done that with a cross here, and Craig Bellamy back up front today. And getting his third goal of the season.
Not so much sure how much his head got that ball. It looked pretty much shoulder and
he's close enough in that he just needs to make contact. But the way Newcastle started the game, you rather expected that sort of thing to happen earlier. Here goes Bellamy again, running in behind, which is his stock in trade. Deflection on the cross, taking it to Kylie.
The thing they didn't do early on, Mark, they did get it wide, but they played pass after pass. They were trying to feed little things into feet all the time. They haven't crossed many balls at all. That was a super ball. Just had head mate written all over it.
Ambrose rueful there, so back on. They say he's more relaxed these days. He says he's more relaxed these days.
Well, you should have seen him in his prime then.
Rob Stiles is the fourth official. Challenge on Ambrose. Happy about the goal though. It's actually the first that Craig Bellamy has scored for Graham Souness. He's gone 6 matches without a goal, Bellamy, having got 2 in his first 3. He was playing up front with Shearer.
What it did show you is, if you put a proper ball in, a ball of real genuine quality, you don't need to be, you know, Terry Sheringham, Alan Shearer, or 6'5" to get a head on it.
And it was a ball of genuine quality. From Olivier Bernard. It's come off Shearer's head. So Charlton have conceded for only the second time at home this season. After Berger, it's Bellamy. Stewart. Lisby. Stewart to pick the best effort Charlton had managed in this opening 40 minutes, but not good, as good as Craig Bellamy's punishing of Charlton's inability to keep tabs on him. But was it undefendable?
Well, I sometimes think crosses can be like that. They've got somebody front post, Mark. Look at the distance there. They've got Perry, you've got your two centre-backs. What is there? 4 yards between them? You know, I don't understand sometimes how people criticise defenders. Perry's got a good position. Fortune's got the front man. You could maybe say he might have been touch tight, but maybe picking at straws. Sometimes I like to say brilliant cross, good goal.
Yeah, quite right. So Newcastle, the team that just couldn't win away, have now won at Southampton and are leading at Charlton. It's Bernard again, in goes Shearer.
Oh, what a ball again. That was nearly as good.
It's probably the outside of the left foot.
I was just saying it probably isn't, because it wasn't a goal on the end of it. But as soon as it comes back, you know, Shearer's got half an idea it's coming in, so he sets off. Oh, very, very close. He attacked it well enough.
Headed on by Bartlett. Genius. Second man to stop him. The second man was Holland. Lisby. Andy O'Brien does do that. He gets really tight. He's a mobile defender. He backs his ability to spin quickly, but seen him penalised like that many times.
It's an example of a bad touch. Embarrassing the centre-back and help the front man. You know, Lisby did miscontrol it, but he was sharp enough to react. But this is a good outlet for Charlton. I think they've got some powerful headers of the ball. I've talked about Newcastle not being the biggest, but what they need is a bit of quality in there that they can attack.
And if he takes it, Ryderson, good goalkeeper by Given.
He's not the biggest. We've talked about Shea Given. You can never argue about his bravery. He knows he's got to come and deal with it. Edge of 6-yard box. He knows he's going to get clattered. And all he's got is eyes on the ball. And a good contact. It gets it well outside the area.
That was a pretty untidy jump from Ryderson.
Yeah, it was. A bit early, a bit nothing-y. Is that a word?
Yeah, you just invented it.
Oh, right.
Nothing-y. Listen out for that over the rest of the season. Well, Steve Harper hasn't played in the Premiership for Newcastle for getting on for 4 years. A few cup outings. Bernard, certainly in the mood. Ambrose. Bernard again. Beat Bartlett's had to be for Charlton. Chased down though by Bellamy.
I think Graham Souness will be delighted. I think they've shaded it. Newcastle, I think they've been the better side first half. And that's what Graham Souness would have said. You know, he'd have looked at Charlton's lack of goals in their team, because coaches and managers do that. And he would have said, get a goal and get in front, and it might just affect this team. There are not a lot of goals in him. He's man on the ball. He's got the most 2 league goals he has. Look young this season.
His only 2 league goals of his entire career.
And he's the leading goal scorer on the pitch. Kevin Lisby, the only other outfield player who's got a Premiership goal.
So it's added time before half-time at the Valley. Not a happy Valley at the moment for the majority. There's been a brightness about Newcastle's play, which gives you an indication how they've achieved these good results.
I sworn they had the whistle there.
For a throw. And we're thinking about half-time. Certainly Peter Walton is. He indicates that that is now the case. Well, there's no Patrick Kluivert today for Newcastle, but Craig Bellamy has been the beneficiary. He's been, I think, pretty vocal in his desire to get back up front. And he's had the chance here and taken a chance from a marvellous cross from Olivier Bernard. Prior to that, a magnificent save by Shay Gibbons, stopping Graham Stewart, giving Charlton the lead. The lead has gone to Newcastle, 1-0 at the break.
And should it be two? Divided opinion here. Chris Powell and Rob Lee, our guests this afternoon. Guess which way around, though? One thought this should have stood. The other thought it shouldn't. Tell you which in a moment or so. 1-0 to the Geordies.
The UEFA Champions League on Sky Sports. Another 2 nights of magic. Tuesday, Real Madrid versus Dinamo Kiev, and Juventus play Bayern Munich. Then Wednesday, Arsenal away to Panathinaikos.
Game on now. A goal for Freddie Ljungberg.
While group leaders Chelsea
Fantastic.
are home to CSKA Moscow. 4 games live from the Champions League Tuesday and Wednesday on Sky Sports 2 and Extra.
Since the beginning of time, survival has depended on quick responses and effective propulsion. Introducing the new Mondeo ST TDCi, the most powerful 16-valve diesel in its class. Quick responses save lives.
New to McDonald's Pound Saver menu, the Bacon Cheeseburger. All you need is 99p.
I'm loving it.
I don't believe I know you.
You stole my story.
From the writer of Panic Room, Johnny Depp. Leave me alone! Secret Window, out now.
Panasonic Viera flat panel television with integrated digital tuner to access Freeview services. Experience a new visual era. Panasonic, ideas for life.
Hong Kong, eh? It's not Corfu. It pays to save, little man. Right then. Bottle of bubbly? Oh, you want champagne now, yeah?
Liam, yeah.
What's Cantonese for a Magna? Now, hang on. We're only here because we got a great rate from Abbey and could afford something more adventurous. Flaming Lamborghinis? Let's not blow it all on the first night, yeah? Oh, come on. One last nightcap. On me. All right, then. 2 Kowloon slings. 1 tall and 1 short. Ha ha.
Get an amazing 7% on your savings. Call now. Abbey, it's about you and your money.
Get ready for classic comedy. Get ready for Classic Connolly on 10 DVDs. This is the Billy Connolly collection. All your favourite moments, all on DVD. Complete your collection. Own them on DVD now.
Detention vehicle heading north on the 101, over.
Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty as charged.
This is not a prison. No walls, no bars. It's harder than that.
The challenge to tame single-handedly a wild Mustang.
Step back, step back!
Barcelona are top in Spain, 5 points clear after last night. Valencia sits second. They play third place Sevilla tonight, 8 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. Tomorrow, Monday Night Football, it's Portsmouth against Spurs, Sky Sports 1. There's a penalty competition going on the pitch at the moment. Look at this little fella. Button-sized, this boy. But he's got a shot on him. Bob Boulder, who used to play in goal for Charlton, making sure he got out of the way. But he'll remember that a long time, the young man. Rob Lee and Chris Powell with us here this afternoon. Newcastle have played well, Rob, haven't they?
Played very well. I think they've controlled most of the game. Charlton have had a couple of breakaways. Probably a shot from Graham Stewart was their best effort, but I think Graham Stewart will be very, very happy. I mean, they've created the better chances, controlled most of the game, as I say, and they've got to be happy and deservedly going in 1-0.
As one who's put his foot round a ball down the ears from that same situation, was all the work done in the cross? On the goal?
There, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was Oliver Bernard's played very well in the first half, and without a doubt the cross made the goal. You know, it was a good run actually, because he wasn't picked up by either centre half, if you notice. Bernard overlapped and was played in, and it's a fantastic ball. That makes the goal.
I knew Andy would enjoy the goal. That's where he did a lot of his work down the years. Bellamy the scorer, and he's taken the collar off the jersey again, you'll notice. Everybody plays with a collar except him, because he's got a short neck, Rob, apparently, hasn't he? That's what he told Soccer AM.
He used it well there. I think he's played very well. I think he's probably got a point to prove to Graham Souness, and I think he's combined well with Valencia, and I think he's done himself a lot of good today.
It could have been 2. Should it have been 2, in your view? Should Bowyer's goal have stood?
In my view, no. No.
Now there's a surprise.
Just because Bowyer actually looks at Danny Murphy just as the ball is coming in. You can see here, he just has a quick look there. He just impedes Danny Murphy. He finishes it well, but he runs away, he doesn't celebrate. So I think he knew.
Has he caught him? Should it have stood?
I think Chris said he does look at him, but I don't think he actually touches him too much. He certainly doesn't hit him in the face the way Danny Murphy holds his face. I'd be disappointed if I was Lee Bowyer. I think he's scored a good goal. He finished it very well, but the linesman flag went up very, very early. So, but I didn't think it was that much. You see more going on other parts of the field than actually that.
Charlton coming off the back of a good hiding really at Highbury. Chris, how fragile is confidence, despite the fact that they've done well here this season?
Well, confidence has obviously taken a knock on the road, but at home, I mean, they weathered the storm here early on. Newcastle started very well, and then Graham Stewart had his effort well saved by Shay Given. But obviously the goal has set them back now, but they've got half time to readjust, and I think they got to get forward a bit more, try and get Dennis Romadal in the game. You know, hasn't had the best of starts to his Charlton career, but there's plenty more to come from him, and hopefully in the second half he might produce a cross or two.
Newcastle hadn't won in 16 on the road until they went to Southampton. They did there, and they're in front here at half-time by 1-0.
Silver drinking sacred tongue, protect me, save the world. Silver drinking sacred tongue, protect me, save the world.
Are you ready for it to start?
The ING Direct Savings Account gives everyone the same high rate of 5%. Your money is free to go in or out whenever you like. And there really are no catches. That's why we're the world's leading direct savings bank. And whether you've got £1 or £1 million, everyone gets the same high rate. Call now or go online. ING Direct. It's your money we're saving.
When it comes to seduction, he knows what it's all about.
I haven't introduced myself. I'm
Alfie. Alfie. Alfie.
You ooze masculinity like some of us do. You have no reason to fear pink. Smashing.
Carrot apple with a dash of wheatgrass.
Obligatory cuddling. 1001.
Jude Law.
Not tonight, Alfred. I'm just seeing red.
Alfie.
I mean, I think if you two were to kiss, I would just...
Who can tell me? Hands up. 9 times 8. Sally, do you know the answer? Shush.
Do you want to come by my house after school?
No.
Sally, you're not eating again. What's wrong?
I'm fine. Can I go now?
Thousands of children desperately need someone to turn to. Call now and help us be there for them.
Evil has many names, but only one man to fear.
Van Helsing, your reputation precedes you.
Van Helsing is now on an action-packed DVD, loaded with bonus features. Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale. Buy it now on DVD and get The Mummy for just $5.99.
I'm 43. Thing is, on the inside, I'm still 17. I want a snog, not a kiss. I don't want to make decisions. I don't want to wear a watch. Sometimes I don't really want to wear anything.
Finances, fixed interest securities and annual indexation thingies. Talk to me, Dad. I'll worry about being older when I am older.
I'm only 17. Think I always will be.
Good day for a test drive anyway, isn't it? Does it feel comfortable?
Yeah, it's nice.
You can't even begin to imagine the season that you have let yourself in for. I'm going to get this club back in the Premiership, and I don't care how.
The new series of Dream Team starts 8 o'clock tonight, exclusive to Sky One.
Charlton fans might instantly recognise Colin Walsh on the penalty spot. That'll come down in Rob Lee's back garden tonight. Scored the first goal when Charlton came back to the Valley, Colin Walsh. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Champions League football. Real Madrid meet Dynamo Kiev. That's on Sky Sports 2. Simultaneously on Sky Sports Extra, it's Juventus against Bayern Munich. And via the interactive facility, Bayer Leverkusen against Roma, Ajax against Maccabi Tel Aviv, Monaco against Olympiacos, Fenerbahce play Lyon. That's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Wednesday we start at 6. Arsenal go to Panathinaikos. It's the main feature on Sky Sports 2. Chelsea play CSKA on Sky Sports Extra. Celtic play on the night as well at Shakhtar Donetsk. Also playing Milan and Barcelona. PSG against Porto. Valencia play Inter. It's Rosenborg against PSV and Anderlecht against Werder Bremen. All those games simultaneously available via our interactive facility. We are at the Valley, helping Charlton Athletic celebrate today in their centenary season. Geordies lead by a 1-0. Craig Bellamy on player cam, commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Yes, Richard, but not much for Charlton to celebrate so far. They're a goal down. They haven't lost at home in the Premiership since March. But they need a big second half here against a very confident opponent. Craig Bellamy has provided plenty of sharpness up front. Flag was up. Certainly Lisby and Bartlett didn't get in the game very much in the first period.
No, scraps, wasn't it? Didn't have much to get their teeth into at all. But they'll be looking to play the game more in Lisby and Bartlett's area, Charlton.
Forward by Perry. Elliott and O'Brien just confusing each other.
No, just looking quickly. Looks like they switched Stewart and Romadal. Liam Stewart playing on this near side, the right-hand side, played left first half. Romadal on the far side again, near the manager. Maybe there's something in that. Keeping him close by.
Bellamy. Bernard. Nice little triangle there.
Oh, that's unlucky. Just overhit. There was a good room for error. It's probably the poorest pass he's hit. I think he's played well, Olivier Bernard, and he's certainly not stopped running. They work it quite well again, but then there's a little big space to just feed that in. Just overhits it.
But Bernard, Bellamy, Bowyer got A-grade football. Here's Genus from Bellamy's pass. Shearer was unattended at the far post. He's not scored a Premiership goal from open play in an away game since November.
Oh, he's long overdue. Well, he gets tied up with Haridason here. He sees the ball playing and immediately tries to get to the back post, but the little coming together, I think he just made sure Haridason wouldn't be there if he got the ball. Just couldn't pull it back enough. Jermaine Genus. That's that area we talked about. Good running ability, isn't it? Good energy levels from that midfield area from Newcastle. You know, Butt just sits. Genus, Bowyer, Ambrose, all allowed to go and influence the game in the attacking thirds.
Bartlett. Stewart, but didn't get the angle right for Kevin Lisby. Genus caught in possession. Romadal. Now Haridason. Romadal. Holland trying a give and go. But in many ways what we've seen from Charlton so far has been rather typical of their season. What Alan Coventry wanted to do was bring in some new players to maybe the attacking productivity. Sometimes you can alter the chemistry at a club and it's not easy to get the formula right again. Murphy.
Well played.
Charlton actually playing their 100th home game in the Premiership, and they've sometimes found it a bit difficult in front of their own fans. So last season, for example, they won as many away games as they did here at the Valley. It doesn't look as though they're going to do that in their away form so far this season. Murphy.
Yeah, Chris Powell was right. This is the strongest test, home test that they've had this season against Newcastle. Confident Newcastle with a new manager in place.
Carr into the feet of Shearer. Bowyer. Now Bernard, creator of the one goal so far for Craig Bellamy. Ambrose. It's Fortune intercepting, but no more than that. Newcastle back on the ball again. And they're passing it right from the very back. A little ball from Shea Given, and at least the Charlton might be able to bite in here. And Robbie Elliott picks his pass to Bernard and Butt. Elliott. Not remotely suggesting that they were over-aggressive. Charlton's best passages of play, best series of results have come when they've really got in the face of the opposition. You remember the game against Chelsea here, Boxing Day?
Yeah, absolutely.
They really rattled them right from the off, and just haven't been able to do that to Newcastle. But here's Lisby. He's not a great finisher, but it's got in eventually. And Kevin Lisby has got Charlton going maybe here.
Well, that's all it takes at this level. One mistake, and you're in, and you can be punished. Scuffs it in the end, Kevin Lisby, but they should deal with that. There's no challenge. I think both centre-halves guilty there. Elliott not going to make the challenge first of all for the throw-in. O'Brien gets sucked in a little bit there, but full marks, he kept his head. Just about got it past Andy O'Brien trying to get back in. But they needed an early response, and they certainly have it. Might even have been Stephen Carr coming across, getting a toe on that as well, that helped it in.
Well, Lisby missed a lot of last season, but he did leave one big imprint on it. He got a hat-trick against Liverpool, you might recall. If we can find that sort of form again now. Here comes a given, but just prior to that, Andy, Newcastle were playing it around a little overconfidently in a defensive third and sort of brought the problem upon themselves. Ryderson. It's a terrific tonic for Charlton, or it should be.
It is a terrific tonic. The secret of when you're playing games like this and you're away from home is you don't invite the team you're playing in, and that's exactly what Newcastle have done. They've invited them in, sloppy play from the throw-in. I mean, nothing happened apart from it not being challenged, bounces once, and before they know it, Newcastle are level.
And Kevin Lisby has got a goal to celebrate on his birthday. It's a positive response from Genus. His work has been of that nature right from the start of the game. Bowled out by Kylie. Stronger voices around the valley now. Murphy.
Now that was a danger there. In that last Newcastle attack, Genus, Boyer, Ambrose all got ahead of the ball. As soon as Kylie got the ball, Mark, he released it. Murphy was in acres of space to carry it 30-40 yards before unleashing the shot.
Shearer. Bartlett, Lisby turned with extra zest. Goals change, not just games, but performances as well. Ambrose. To be fair to Lee Bowyer, he did everything possible to try and stay on his feet and go to ground. Got a lot to be grateful about as far as Charlton Athletic is concerned. Taught him his trade, got him into the limelight. There were a lot of clubs looked at him when he was a teenager, made the Charlton first team. O'Brien just got there first, back by Bowyer. Perry's header. Newcastle need to restore a bit of order to their play. There was plenty of it prior to the equaliser, muddled equaliser though it was. Bowyer. Hack at it by Ryderson. Genus. Great movement by Bowyer again, not matched by the control.
Pity. I mean, he's been so close, hasn't he? He's had the disallowed goal. He's been in the penalty area as much as any Newcastle attacker has been. Holland.
Ambrose. Genus. It's over Shearer. And it's beyond the redress of Bellamy.
Yeah, just over that.
Well, he'll be disappointed with the nature of the goal.
I mean, it's from a throw-in, and look at Hams. It's not even a header. And he gets in there, and Stephen Carr tries to come around. I don't know how much Kevin Lisby gets of this.
Maybe nothing.
I tell you, I think that might be one for the dubious goals, Mr. Tyler.
Yeah.
It didn't look like he wrapped his foot around it, did it? You can see there as he's trying to rescue Stephen Carr.
It's a typical Kevin Lisby moment, one-on-one.
It is, but that looks more like Stephen Carr than Kevin Lisby.
Well, then he'll say Andy O'Brien got the last touch, won't he, Stephen Carr? That is an interesting one. There's Luke Young as to who you apportion an own goal to in those circumstances. Stephen Carr won't be saying I got it on target.
Well, I'll have to say his shot was probably on target. So
anyway, it's 1-1, and that's what matters to Charlton. They've got a corner here. Murphy takes.
That was worth it.
From Romadal.
He's just been on the periphery of the game, Dennis Romadal. He's a better player than we've seen and we're seeing today, no doubt about that. But that's worth hitting. Met it in the half volley. You just don't know your luck. It really is. Chucking it down now. Conditions getting very difficult, swirling and wind, driving rain.
Memories of Azerbaijan for Mickey Butt and Jermaine Genus. Young. Murphy. Certainly not been a fussy referee, Peter Walton. He's tried to allow the game to have a physical edge to it. Shearer. Too much of a hurry, but they kept going somehow, Charlton. The dummy by Bartlett. Lisby, couldn't find Romadal. Charlton can come again through Murphy, though.
Well, what a chance. What a glorious opportunity that is for Charlton to get Dennis Romadal free. It's either lack of communication, Romadal didn't call Bartlett, or Bartlett just didn't have a picture or any idea what was behind him, because what a situation. Great dummy. If he goes over it again, Romadal's got a chance. If he reacts quicker and gets it to him, he's got a chance. He did nothing.
Lisby. Holland. Charlton would go above Newcastle if they can turn this game around completely in the second half. Romadal. Murphy.
Was it meant for you, Kevin? It was meant for Haraidison. It'll get there now. But they're a bit sloppy, Newcastle, at the moment.
Haraidison. Genus can't stop the cross coming in. Deflects off Carr. Collected by Stewart. Young goes outside in. Murphy not closed down. Carried away by Given, and maybe earned a bit of luck then. Could have easily gone to a following up Charlton player. Really fired in, as was the shot.
Well, they're all over the place.
Out.
Newcastle here. Look at the amount of time he has to take a look and let. Well, what a shot. I mean, he strikes it beautifully, Danny Murphy. And it's just got a little bit of elevation in it, and that helps. Makes the save a little easier than it would have been had that been racing across the grass. Well, that's football for you. Isn't it amazing how it can change?
Rather like the weather.
Yeah.
It's certainly at its worst at the moment. Ambrose. Cleared by Perry. Certainly taken on the wind towards Given. Souness has decided to get two substitutes ready. Charlton Athletic and Laurent Robert.
Well, this will be interesting. Craig Bellamy, the goal scorer, and you see Shola Ameobi warm up. You just wonder, he's got to be in the frame, but I can imagine he'll be absolutely gutted if his number goes up.
O'Brien. Some players might be unsubstitutable, of course. Here's Bernard. Bellamy. Shearer. He's got to be strong here, and taking it from the head of Ambrose and Butt.
That's a cut head, look at that, that's a nasty one.
That might change the plans on the bench. A rethink for Graham Souness. I don't think Alan Shearer would have been substituted. But now, we've got to check out how serious this cut is. Derek Wright is the physio.
Well, I thought it was rather a lame header by Alan, wasn't it, at the back post? I'm just wondering if the clash happened before the ball arrived at him. It certainly didn't look like it happened after it.
Already suffering by then, and maybe Alan Shearer will be able to tell us how much it affected what he could do with the ball when it came in. He was in a good position. There is some blood on the shirt.
Can you wear any shirt when that happens?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's part of the policy from the Premier League to hurry up these changes. He's going to be reinvented as Aaron Hughes.
There we go. Oh, he's got a goal or two in him, hasn't it?
I think the last time you and I saw Newcastle play, he scored against Norwich City.
Do you think Anna might be thinking that's me and not going on then?
Makes it difficult now for holding up the numbers board, I guess. If number 18 comes up, can he refuse to go off saying I'm number 9? He's quickly stopped the bleeding. That's the most important thing for Newcastle. And now got to stop Charlton. Lisby to Bartlett. It's hit the net, but on the outside.
Well, they had two options. Lisby. Bartlett's happy he chose him, but Romadal's the other option. Look at him. Loads of space. I think he's got a better opportunity, Romadal, if he picks him, but I don't think, in all honesty, Lisby ever saw him. I think he only had eyes for Bartlett. And that's a difficult one to beat. Shea Given near post like that. That was a great opportunity again. They've had a couple of really fantastic opportunities, Charlton, that they haven't made the most of since they've gone level.
Now with Shearer back on in that unfamiliar number 18 shirt. At least it's 9 times 2. There's Bowyer yet again. Bellamy. Ambrose, Charlton can crowd him out, can break out now. Bernard stops Stewart's avenues, and Murphy's held up by Butt. And when it goes long from Young, well, it's one for Lisby to chase. It needed a very sure touch from Andy O'Brien, and it got one. The goalkeeper was pretty close to him, closer than he needed to be. By Genus, maybe, not in the mind of referee Walton. Bowyer's ball, beckoning Bernard forward.
Just overhits that one. Lovely ball, lovely run. Well, here we go. And there's one answer.
Darren Ambrose gives way to Laurent Robert, and it is Craig Bellamy. What me?
There you go. I knew he wouldn't be happy.
He's never been shy of making big decisions. He's never been shy of letting discontented players know what he thinks about the matter. And there's a discontented player, the Newcastle scorer today. Craig Bellamy replaced just around the midway point of the second half. Alan Murray, the assistant manager, trying to calm the troubled waters. Amiobi's only just recovered from a hip problem.
Well, I can understand Craig Bellamy's frustration, if you like. It's more than anything. He's waited a long time to get picked up front with Shearer. Since Graham Souness came, first time, as you said, gets a goal first half, been lively, been busy. Just an hour gone, plenty left in this game, and off he is.
Robert takes Shearer.
That's another corner, yeah. Well, that could have gone anywhere. I don't think Alan quite got a lot on it, but once it flies off the defender, it could end up anywhere. That's Robert, that's what he brings to the side from set pieces, is that bit of fizz, bit of whip.
Young stretching to clear it only back to Robert, could shoot from there.
And a bit of frustration. That drives you mad, and that's what drives people mad about Laurent Robert. You have a set play, your centre-backs have gone up, all your big boys are in there. He has a brilliant opportunity just to dink that back in and let them get on top of it and let them attack it, and he just thumps it miles wide.
O'Brien. A bit too high for Murphy. Amiobi though, his jump right. And the problem here for Matt Holland and also Amiobi as well, actually.
Little clash of heads, more blood. That's Matt's turn, he'll have to go.
He can't believe his luck. All those games he played in a row for Ipswich, and every time he gets on the pitch at the moment, he's getting hurt.
Oh, goodness me. We can see both players, their eyes right on the ball. And I think that got him right on, looked like the bridge of the nose, didn't it? This Shearer getting his eye patched up. Might be another eye job, that, yeah. It's been a weekend for that, hasn't it? It's been Bolton yesterday, Speed, and...
Oh, that Ivan Camper.
Horrible, wasn't it?
One of the worst I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
We wish him well. And Matt Holland as well. I'm surprised no one's gone to the Newcastle kit container to get another shirt for Shearer, though. With his name on. There's a few probably with his name on in the crowd that they could borrow. Premiership programme completed on Monday night. Fratton Park, Portsmouth against Tottenham. And Portsmouth puncture that strong Tottenham defence that has given Jacques Santinet a good early foothold in the English game.
I've had a bitty part of this game. Not a lot's happened, I think. More because of the incidents have broken up the play.
And the worsening of the weather, Andy, as well. I think a lot of people watched the England game and didn't realise how difficult it was for players out in Baku with the wind and the rain. And we've got perhaps not quite those extremes here, but it's along those lines.
And what we have is a game to be won. No
20 minutes to go.
Absolutely no doubt about that. There'll be quite a bit of stoppage time.
And remember, Newcastle United would be fourth in the table tonight if they can turn the draw into a win. Genus. It's a cute work by Nicky Butt. Obi's cross. Shearer fighting for it, and then Robert. Great defending by Young.
What a ball that was as well, around Obi. I think the only surprise here is that Shearer doesn't finish this. Heads it against Luke Young, but how quick does Young react to the ball dropping?
It's like a double save, isn't it?
That's great.
Charlton right back.
I'm really surprised. He sees this, Al, and he just heads it against Luke Young. Brilliant defending. And that's gone as well.
Matt Holland has a different kind of captain's headband. It's become more of a scrap in the second half. Probably because Charlton have unsettled Newcastle a bit by the fact that they scored. Romadal stopping them having a chance of scoring again. Murphy. Some ball for Stewart. Might just be feeling the effects of his first match for a few weeks. Robert.
The raking crossfield pass from Danny Murphy a little earlier there. From left to right to Graham Stewart.
Well, he can be an artistic player from midfield. He's certainly an articulate guy off the pitch. Let the ball do the talking for Charlton in these circumstances. Same applies to Holland. A bit of a kick out at him. Swipe generally aimed at the ball, but a long way away from it by Robert. Bartlett. Stewart. On from Murphy. Ryderson. Now Holland. Progress through midfield that Charlton really didn't make in the first half. He had a look, he wasn't sure who was behind him. He knew the ball was going behind him. Bernard. Fortune didn't have the luxury of the touch. Obi. It's a bit far advanced of Robert. Murphy. Old Liverpool-Manchester United clash there between Murphy and Butt in the colours of Charlton and Newcastle. Carr, Shearer, good defending by Fortune. Shearer is trying to force himself across in front of the young Charlton defender. The decision is a corner.
Yeah, it was a free kick. I don't think Nicky Butt intensely, but what Nicky Butt did do was stop Danny Murphy attacking the back four. And whether it was an accident or not, it's a free kick. And they're so incensed, Graham Stewart, as he's now booking him, but I mean, that's a foul. It's nothing else but a foul. It's as simple as that. Just give the foul and get on with it. But that lack of decision there is really incensed him, and quite right.
The yellow card for showing dissent.
You usually get a defensive free kick now, and it's a bit like that, don't you?
It's headed away by Perry. Dean Kiley is a goalkeeper who tends to let his defenders deal with the crosses. O'Brien trying to head it on. Back by Butt. Newcastle fans were complaining that Obi might have been in a position there where he was being fouled by Bartlett, who was back marking him. And Stewart's got to be careful here.
Yeah,
still angry.
Just got to cool it a bit. He's made his point to the referee, Graham.
James Milner comes on for Nicky Butt. It's an interesting switch by Graham Souness.
That's a positive one, isn't it? Because you just imagine Genius will go on field, which leaves Bowyer and Genius as your two central midfield players. both like to play in the front foot going forward. I would guess that Genus will, well, as long as they swap it.
Last season, James Milner scored a winning goal on this ground for Leeds United. They didn't win many games, did they, last season? But he won't have forgotten that. Oh, it was nearly on his head to score potentially a winning goal here. But here comes the pacey Rommedahl. Lisby. Real stand-up tackle from Carr. And Milner, young and busy.
Ryderson, no one in.
He's going to have to kick this straight out, Shea Given, once it was going out of the area. A little bit similar to how Dean Kiley got trapped by Dennis Bergkamp at Highbury a couple of weeks ago. Given kept going and got the ball here. O'Brien really didn't flinch, rather jumped into him. Elliott, Amiobi. Stewart trying to back heel for Luke Young. Everyone wants to be Thierry Henry these days. Stewart again. Forward by O'Brien. At least Newcastle can move out as a unit.
Well, Charlton have certainly done better second half. The goal undoubtedly has helped them, but they've actually not allowed Newcastle to slick it about the way they did in the first half. They've got a bit closer all round the pitch, a bit tighter, made it more difficult for Newcastle, and got a bit of joy. They've won it higher up the pitch at times. That's helped them.
Jeffers got injured here, damaged neck against the Blackburn. Only the last couple of days has he been heading a ball again. They're going to give him the last 12 minutes. There's no doubt that Kevin Lisby forced the Charlton equaliser. There's plenty of doubt as to whether he'll be credited with that equaliser. And at 1-1, enter Francis Jeffers. Bernard, Robert, Genus. Difficult for Elliott, and the header only dropped for Rommedahl. Ryderson charging up. Jeffers starting with a chance.
Of course, their own problems at times, Newcastle second half. Overplay, wrong passes at the wrong time.
Shearer. Couldn't keep it in. Alan Shearer as the player cam for the last 10 minutes. Sky Digital viewers can access that facility, of course, via the red button on the remote. Young, Stewart. Rommedahl coming in from the other flank. Jeffers trying to get across the defender, but Andy O'Brien wasn't having that and didn't need to play the ball to defend. He defended the run.
Nice idea though, wasn't it? Again, misplaced pass again, got them in trouble, Newcastle.
Genus, Amiobi. No slackening off from Graham Souness' side there. They want to win this game. Again, Bartlett having to make an extra man defensively. Bowyer was looking to pull the trigger, still running into the right sort of areas, Lee Bowyer.
Yeah, you think it's just a matter of time before he starts nicking goals again, Lee Bowyer.
What are we going to expect here from Laurent Robert? A Shearer header off the line. Danny Murphy held his position, and that's how close Newcastle came to regaining the lead. Carr. Bartlett's there again. He's putting in a good shift for the side without really having had too much in the way of shooting opportunities himself. Just that one that flashed into the side netting. Genus. Elliott. It's going to be a real fight to the finish at the Valley. O'Brien.
Well, it was a lovely header. Comes round a posse of players and just guides it into the far corner. Goalkeeper's nowhere to be seen because he can't get anywhere near it. Lovely header. But that's why you put people on the post. Almost.
He got a bit lucky, Danny Murphy, as well, because he cleared it off the line straight into the midriff of a teammate and then dropped for another Charlton foot to get it away. Anyone following in for Newcastle, they've just got rich reward. Robert. Expansive flick. Reach Bowyer. Started well, they're looking to finish strong, Newcastle United.
Well, I think, like I said 20 minutes ago, man, this is a game to be won, and I think Newcastle feel that as well. And they're prepared to take a chance and win this game.
Robert with another corner. And the Obi's there. Shearer!
What a block. Who did that hit? Was it Chris Perry?
He's the one picking himself up.
Oh, it drops absolutely perfect for him. Not the best header out, but no, it wasn't Perry, in fact, was it? Like a Ryerson behind him.
Milner with this corner. And Amiobi has a decision going against him. Wasn't really expected to be involved today, Charlotte Amiobi. Didn't play in the reserve match at the start of last week. Then trained very well. Caught the manager's eye.
25 minutes out here will be doing the world of good, and that's what he's had. Or will have had by the time the game finishes.
Stewart. Bartlett. Fizzed it to goalwards, but Given saw it coming. Quite appropriate on a historic day as this is for Charlton. They've got a South African playing. They've had strong links with that country down the years. Many South African players in the Charlton record books. Milner. Shearer throwing himself into the mix. Kept alive by Robert. Amiobi.
I'll tell you what, they really are testing them from these wide areas. Whether it's a set play or whether it's a cross and open play. They're making Charlton work extremely hard defensively in front of Dean Kiley.
Elliott. Holland. Moments here where Alan Kirbishley might happily settle for a point.
It's pretty good from their wayside, isn't it? I don't remember too many until, I didn't think there was a huge abundance of saves that goalkeepers have had to make.
The more spectacular saves have come from Shay Given. It's going to be a corner. Given annoyed that Jeffers went to get the ball first up, I think, because Given thought it was a goal kick.
Yeah, he did.
Well, they won the last game here against Blackburn. Graham Souness's old club from a corner sort of situation. It's Ramadan! It's deflected and then the bar.
What a strike. Lee Bowyer, I think, is the one who gets out there and gets something on it. Oh, goalkeeper's underneath it. He might well have gotten a hand to it, Shea Given. He was up there. He'll tell us he would have done. But there was absolutely nothing wrong with the quality of the strike.
Bartlett towards the near post. O'Brien's missed it. Off the line. Fortune. Oh, against the post! No. Matt Holland, I think, would have claimed it had it gone in.
How's that stayed out?
What an extraordinary episode. And Alan Shearer was a linchpin there defensively, and he boots it forward here. Murphy collecting it from Kylie. It's Elliott not really dealing with it, and then Stephen Carr heads across rather than away. Robert Elliott can get some length to it.
Got a bit of panic there for Robbie Elliott, but the blood begins to drip in that wind. What a good bit of positioning from the Newcastle captain.
Spilling blood for the cause. Genus. Charlton, so close. Fortune. And that's only seconds after hitting the bar through Ramadan.
Well, we'll finally get a bit of respite to actually find out what on earth happened. I mean, Francis Jeffers is the one here who just, I think, knocks it back to Bartlett. But then that one there, he almost, you know that one when you're falling and you hit it off your standing foot? Matt Holland, he just seems to do that, but look at Shearer right on the line. And as it comes out to Holland, he almost hits his own foot with it, and that's what spins it past the goalkeeper.
Well, it was Shearer off the line from Fortune, and then Holland off the post. Long from O'Brien. This is Robert. Denied by Horizon, ball out, Newcastle's throw. 2 minutes plus added time, we're expecting 3 minutes of that. It's been an action-packed last 10 minutes. Alan Shearer having one cleared off the line at one end and clearing off his own line minutes later. Bellamy in trouble.
Well, they had a little chip at the linesman, I guess. Referees always have to protect their own, I guess.
Carr, Shearer, Perry in the way this time. Graham Souness himself restarting the game by getting it back to Carr for the throw. Shearer, and goes Amiobi and can't quite get there. Caught the ball, but was caught himself in claiming it. Out by O'Brien. Bartlett. Ramadan with a throw. A goal down at half-time, and that was a fairish reflection on the first 45 minutes. Bellamy had put Newcastle into the lead. Horizon. Just a power forward now.
Wouldn't come down for him. And by it bouncing like that, it just gave Stephen Carr the opportunity to get back in.
Fortune goes round the back. Ryderson, and he was leaning on. Not for the first time today.
Yeah, I think this is pretty, as soon as Andy O'Brien's in front of him and Addison's climbing all over him like that, you can't expect anything else on a free kick against you.
And Shearer needs to be patched up again. Question, what happens if there's blood on the new shirt?
Well, that just gets changed as well, doesn't it? I guess it won't bother too much.
Shearer's gone running back, and Rob Styles, the fourth official, trying to stop him, it seemed. Is that the way you saw it, Andy?
Yeah, it looked like that to me. Whether Rob Styles didn't exactly say that Alan Shearer says, but Styles isn't looking at the referee. See, Alan Shearer's looked at the referee, got the signal, but Rob Styles was looking behind him. Rob Styles was unhappy about the patch-up job, and that was what it was.
He's trying to apologise to Shearer, and Shearer's not having it.
Oh, that's a foul.
Perry.
That must be a foul. That must be a foul.
An astonished Amiobi is just picking himself up. Genus.
I don't think Eliza was even looking at it.
Well, a few distractions at the moment for the officials. Carr. Shearer. Solomon's ball. Stephen Carr's cross. Stewart having to defend, and Murphy. Romadal was inventive. Jeffers. Stewart inside Bernard. Romadal. Late in the day here at the Valley. And Elliott looked out of place again. Back in Newcastle colours. Shearer forcing it wide to Robert. And the tangle with Murphy and Shearer. Robert threading the eye of a needle.
Well, I can't believe if he keeps making those runs, he's not going to get in the end of something. Not today, I've run out of time. But again, it's just the pace in the ball. And this is a 94th minute we're in, and look at Boyer. Full of energy, full of drive. It's just the ball not good enough. Frustration written all over his face.
Well, there's been a lot of thrust and plenty of cut as well. But it ends level. Graham Souness's side led at half-time through Craig Bellamy. And he keeps his unbeaten record as the boss of Newcastle United. Charlton are still unbeaten at home. Stephen Carr may well have got the telling touch as Kevin Lisby created the chance for their equaliser early in the second half. They can't mark their historic day with a win though. And some extraordinary episodes in the latter stages of the game. After Bellamy had been substituted, Alan Shearer with a header that was cleared off the line by Danny Murphy, and then Shearer himself stopping Jonathan Fortune, potentially winning the day for Charlton. Plenty in it, and a point apiece in it for Charlton and Newcastle.
Very enjoyable. Point apiece. It takes Charlton into the top half. Newcastle miss out on the chance to go fourth. Rob Lee and Chris Powell have been with us all afternoon. Thoroughly enjoyable that. We'll get the reaction when we come back. We'll look back also on some of the better moments, and that might take a while. It was a storming second half. Chances at both ends. Shearer saw one cleared off the line, cleared one off the line himself. All the reaction comes next.
You can't even begin to imagine the season that you have let yourself in for. I'm going to get this club back in the Premiership, and I don't care how.
The new series of Dream Team starts 8 o'clock tonight, exclusive to Sky One.
If you buy a custom-made car, you can get exactly what you want. But it costs you more. Buy a personalised swimming pool and you'll get exactly what you want. But it costs you more. If you book the different parts of your tailor-made holiday at expedia.co.uk, you can get exactly what you want. But it costs you less.
much less. Expedia.co.uk. Create your perfect trip.
66 gold, 141 platinum, and 18 number ones. No wonder they called him the king. Do I know everything there is to know about Elvis? Have I heard everything he ever recorded? Not just yet. I mean, it's not like you can have too much Elvis, is it? We can't go together. We're suspicious.
Whatever music you're into, only AOL Unlimited Broadband lets you enjoy it more. There are no time or download limits, so you can watch, listen and download as much music as you like.
The more you listen to him, the closer you get to him. And guess what? No one gets closer than me.
We're caught in a trap. I can walk out. Enjoy unlimited music with AOL Unlimited Broadband from 1999.
Slow, baby.
Brewed slightly stronger for a smoother taste. Carlsberg Export. So good, the Danes hate to see it leave.
Yes, that's right. I'm covered by Bupa. It's my knee, you see. It's stopping me doing my job properly. Sorry. Well, it would be good to get it sorted as soon as possible.
With Bupa Health Insurance, you can get back on your feet in no time.
And quick. Super!
Ooh.
Captain Hero away!
Bupa, the health and care people.
My shop, it's round the clock. My bank, clocked off. My Indian, it's local. My bank, India. My barber, a person. My bank, a robot.
We believe in another way. More people in branch. UK call centres only. And phones answered 24/7.
My patients, exhausted. My account, switched.
The new ZR and ZS from MG, now with £1,000 deposit contribution. Life's too short not to.
Silver drinking secret. Protect me, save the world. Silver drinking secret. Protect me, save the world.
Are you ready for it to start?
Small live football tonight from Spain. Valencia chasing Barcelona, who are top by 5 points. They're in second, Valencia. They play Seville, who are third. Sky Sports 1. 7 o'clock tomorrow. Monday Night Football features Portsmouth and Tottenham. There's Champions League football on Tuesday and Wednesday night of this week. 6 live games on Tuesday. It's a 7 o'clock start. Real Madrid meet Dynamo Kiev on 2. It's Juventus against Bayern on Sky Sports Extra. That's where to access the interactive coverage and choose any one or watch all 6 of the games being played. On that night, Bayer Leverkusen meet Roma. It's Ajax against Maccabi Tel Aviv, Monaco against Olympiacos, and Fenerbahce against Lyon. Wednesday we have 8 live games simultaneously. Main focus of attention on Sky Sports 2, Arsenal, who go to Panathinaikos. On Extra, it's Chelsea against CSKA Moscow. Celtic play against Shakhtar Donetsk. Sky Sports Extra is the place to find that. Also on Extra, Milan against Barcelona, PSG against Porto, the champions, Valencia against Inter, Rosenborg against PSV, and Anderlecht against Werder Bremen. That's Wednesday night. Here's the man of the match, a little battered and bruised.
Alan, you look a mess. First of all, how bad is it?
I've seen yourself. No, it's all right. It's just a nick, to be honest. I've had a few of them over the years, and no doubt I'll have a few more before the season ends. But a couple of stitches will be all right.
Just wipe the blood off. It's coming down your nose as you speak. It's be careful with that. How did you see that one? Points dropped?
Well, when you're 1-0 up, then and cruising as we were in the first half, we said at half time, beware of a Charlton backlash, and if we can stay out the first 15 or 20 minutes, because I'm sure Alan Kerbel should have a bit of a go at them, and it was a silly goal for us to give away. I think it was a long ball, and criminal really letting the ball bounce in the first place, and we've done that, and they've got in behind and finished it very well. But from then on, it could have went either way. We've had attempts off the line. They've hit the bar, at the post, had a header off the line. So it was an even game after that. But when you're 1-0 up, then we should really see the game out. But any point really away from home is, I suppose, at the end of the day, is a point gained.
You've got Aaron Hughes' shirt on there. You turned defender at the end as well and kept yourself in it.
Yeah, I know. You better get on the weights. It's a little bit small for me, this is.
Confidence throughout the team. It looks that way, though, and the gaffer was making changes there to go out and win it.
Oh yeah, well, we've got players on the bench who can come on and can win a game for us, as you've seen, and the players mainly who we took off were the players who have been away on international duty, and you can see that they've had 2 very hard games, and the players that come on done a decent job. But it wasn't to be. We'll have to go away and be happy with a point, but our unbeaten run continues with a home game in the league next week.
You almost got another one of those off the 4th official as well, didn't you?
I know, yeah, he was having hold of me. The linesman said it was all right for me to go on, but the 4th official said it wasn't, but work that one out.
Go and get yourself cleaned up. Well done. Thanks for talking to us. You're man of the match today. Congratulations. Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, book that man, Rob Stiles. You can't hang on to a shirt like that, can you? Chris Powell and Rob Leaving with us all afternoon. That was enjoyable, Chris, wasn't it? Was 1-1 right? Was a draw the correct outcome?
Yeah, I would say so. After Newcastle going in at half-time 1-0 up, Charlton responded very well and got their goal with Kevin Lisby, a very well-taken goal. And from then on it was end to end, but I think a draw's fair enough.
Newcastle in front at half-time, of course, with the goal from Bellamy. Should they have gone on from there?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look at Newcastle's record over, especially over the last few months, they lead so many games, and they always seem to lose the lead and end up with a draw, or even worse, sometimes they're losing. And as Alan says, they a team with the players they got, they should be winning games like that.
Scored at a good time, just before half-time. And when you would want, because they were dominating at this point, weren't they?
Yeah, they were totally dominating the game. And it's the cross. The cross is fantastic from Bernard. He didn't do enough of that in the second half. It's a good header. It's a fantastic cross, but I don't think he did that once in the second half. I don't think he got forward at all. Maybe that was down to Charlton being very, very good for the first 25 minutes of the second half, or maybe Newcastle sat back a little bit. I don't know.
We remember a fabulous hat-trick from Lisby against Liverpool, but there was a time he couldn't buy a goal. Is he first choice here now?
I would say so, yes. If you look at all the partnerships since the start of the season, it's always involved him plus another striker. But he read the bounce there very well. I think Stephen Carr got the final touch, and well, I think O'Brien actually got it trying to hook it away. But I mean, his build-up play and composure going round the goalkeeper was very good.
It actually probably was an own goal, wasn't it? I'm sorry to say, because everything else that went with it was 10 out of 10.
Is it Stephen Carr's or Andy O'Brien's arm?
Carr's on target.
Kevin will tell you.
We'll give it to him, really. And then in the last 10, I mean, there was so much going on at both ends. It was difficult to keep track of it, but Romadal crashes one onto the bar here off Bowyer.
Yeah, to be fair, we didn't see a lot of him, really. I mean, I was a bit disappointed in him because he's come with a good reputation. Charlton paid a lot of money for him. And I think this season, I don't think he's been in that great. And today, that was the only thing he done all game, really. And it's a fantastic strike, but we should be seeing more of him, really.
What happened here, Chris? And then 1, 2, 3 opportunities?
Well, Alan, he's been in the wars today, cleared one off the line. And then I think Holland just, it was John Fortune, Jeffers tried to turn, cleared off the line. And then Holland was slipping. Shay Given slits, hit the post, and in the end Miobi cleared it away. But it's a great passage of play, really.
Graham Souness frustrated as he left, but we've seen that previously. Perhaps it had something to do with the free kick he thought they should have had late on. Perhaps, Rob, with the fact that they'd finished strongly and maybe felt they should have got more from it.
Oh, I don't think Newcastle started playing until the last 10 minutes. I mean, last 10 minutes they must have had eight or so corners and scuffles. Here again, I mean, but Charlton does some great defending. Luke Young there chucks himself in front of it. It's another off the line, a little bit of a scramble. Great header, no one's picking Allen up. Straight off the line. I mean, as I say, the corners that came in, there must have been 8 or 10 of them, and all scrambles. Another, Charlton was chucking bodies in front. So it's very, very good defending from him here. I mean, I think it's Hardison here chucks himself in front of it. And it's a good Charlton defending very, very well. I think they deserved at least a point today.
And nobody's won here this season. Southampton left with a point. Newcastle have left with a point. Now, you're okay here, Charlton, aren't you? Is this the base from which you have to build? And then believe when you're on the road that there's more to come?
Well, I think that's what they have to do this season. Because usually the home form hasn't been too good. It's been the away form that has kept the side going and kept the side in the Premier League. But this season it's turned on its head. And I think they're looking to gain the points here and gradually get a bit of a solid base away from home. They've lost that this year at the moment, conceding 13 goals. So this draw today will give them belief, because it was a test for them, but they've come through it well.
Newcastle still unbeaten under Graham Souness. Are they a different side under him?
You would have thought so. First half you'd have said so, but they seem to be still making the same silly mistakes at the back, which I'm sure he'll be trying to eradicate. I mean, the goal, it was good play by Lisby. Really, both central defenders missed the ball, which I don't think we're too pleased with. You know, Charlton came at him in the second half, first 20 minutes, but they coped quite well with it. But it's just silly mistakes that are costing them games and costing them points.
If there's money, is that where it'll be spent in January?
I've no doubt that they will spend it at least 2 defenders. I think he'll try and do a few bits of wheeling and dealing and maybe swapping a few players, but I think he'll definitely be trying to strengthen his centre defence.
And what should be the ambition this season for Newcastle?
They should be vying for that 4th Champions League spot. I mean, as I said before, I mean, you Arsenal and Chelsea and even Man United are faltering a little bit, but I think Newcastle are better than Liverpool. I don't think there's no reason why they shouldn't go for the 4th spot. I mean, I think it'd be disappointing to see if they don't get it.
And what about Charlton, Chris? Has expectation been raised here now? I remember Alan Kirkby saying last year he'd like a season like Bolton's, a final somewhere, an opportunity to win some silverware. Is that possible?
It's possible, but their recent record in the Cups isn't good. Since I've been here, we tend to get knocked out in the early rounds, so it would be great to have a good cup run for Charlton, but the expectation level has gone up due to finishing so well, finishing in the top half. I think the fans are always looking ahead and looking forward, and I think they want European football. I think that would be the next real big step for Charlton Athletic.
That's fabulous, actually, isn't it, when you just think about that statement, that they want European football here now. That is a lot of progress. Here's the manager, Alan Kirkby, with Mark Bolton again.
The top half. Alan, happy with the draw?
Well, yeah, I think that you know, we worked tremendously hard to get back in the game, and we did get back in the game. And I think as the rain came down, it ended up being a really open game. And we had our goal-mouth scrambles, which we couldn't quite score, and they had theirs. So I think both of us would have been really disappointed if we had come away with nothing.
You seem to get into them more in the second half. Do you think that was missing a touch in the first?
Well, I think that we set off. I think Newcastle were a very good side. Let's not take that away from them. And they dictated most of it in the first half. They kept it better than us, and you know, we were, you know, dogging it around and trying to win it back. To be fair, and the goal was a bit of a blow. They come in very quiet at half time, but we said, you know, if we get back in this game, you know, anything can happen. And you know, they went about it, and we got back in it. And you know, as I say, it went end to end after that. And I think myself and Graham would have been absolutely delighted with 3 points, or really upset with none, you know. So perhaps it was a fair result.
You've talked about the work ethic and that coming in and the penny dropping and all that. More signs of that today?
Well, I think Danny Murphy has epitomised it. You know, he came into our team 3 or 4 days before the season started. You know, hadn't done all the pre-season at Liverpool, and he's had to get fit in the first team. And I think he's shown now. He got a bit of criticism, you know, unfair in a lot of quarters, but he got a bit of criticism. And I think he showed today what a good player he is. And he kept going. He had the work ethic, but he's got that little bit extra, which we're desperate to bring out. The same as Dennis. And you know, if we can do better at home, which has always been our problem last couple of years, and get back on the road and get some points, then, you know, we can have a decent season.
Just how important was it to get something? What with the month that you've got ahead now? Because there's some big fixtures coming up.
Well, they are. I mean, you know, every team would tell you, you know, sometimes you get a group of fixtures coming along and they're going to be tough. I mean, but the Premiership is tough. But yeah, we've got the top teams, and you know, but I think if you look at our record over the last couple of years, we've done well against the top teams, albeit not Arsenal, but in a recent game. But we have done all right. So, you know, we'll take this point, and we've got another game next week.
You did entertain us today. Thanks very much.
Well, let's hope so. You know, as I say, I think that. Perhaps we've used the first 8 games and it's been a little bit like a pre-season for us. You know, people have been gelling, people just about got on first names terms, and you know, hopefully we can improve from now.
Thanks.
Thank you.
One game to come from the weekend's fixtures. Sorry, Mark. One game to come from the weekend's fixtures. That's the Monday night football tomorrow. Portsmouth play Tottenham, but the Barclays Premiership looks like that this evening. It's Palace, Southampton and Blackburn in the drop zone. Norwich climbed out this weekend. Fulham are falling. It's just 1 win in 7 for them. Then it's the Baggies, Birmingham, Portsmouth, Villa and Manchester City down a place as a result of the point that Charlton gained here. They go into 10th. Newcastle and Tottenham change places. Ahead of Newcastle, no movement at all. They could have had 4th, but ahead of them it's Liverpool, Manchester United, 11 points back on Arsenal. Middlesbrough, Bolton and Everton, 5, 4 and 3. Chelsea lost for the first time, of course, this weekend, and they're 5 points now adrift of the champions, who are 49 matches unbeaten in the league. We're not finished yet. We'll hear from Graham Souness when we come back. He's still unbeaten during his time at Newcastle United. He'll take the point. Doubtless he'll tell us he probably should have had 3. And there was a row, of course, somewhere. Graham Souness next.
WWE Taboo Tuesday with Day of Reckoning, Tuesday night 1 AM, Sky Sports 1.
This hinges on the final one. So this is one correct. Your prediction was right. Heads or tails?
Tails.
You're right.
Right, I'm good.
Fantastic. All right, how did you do that?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Come on.
So now I'm getting excited about the casino.
There you go. That's the whole idea. Come on, we'll play a couple of more of these games till we get to the crab tables. Then you take it out your wallet.
Great first touch. FIFA Football 2005. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Churchill, Roosevelt, Stalin to Sarah Milton, 8 Milclose immediately.
With broadband from BT, you can discover a whole new world right behind your phone socket.
Number 1 in the charts, ham spanner to James Pike, 10 Low Street.
Hi. Oh yes, James Pike has bought an iPod.
Okay guys, we've got a first time downloader.
No, it's okay. This isn't dial-up. It's much faster.
Cool.
Up to 3 times faster than some broadbands, it costs from just $17.99 a month. Visit bt.com and access the true power of broadband. BT, more power to you.
Andy will be here in a moment or so with the last word on all of the weekend's football. Right now, Graham Souness with Mark Bolton.
A win would have put you fourth. Obviously, it hasn't. Should you be in fourth? Should you have won that?
I think a draw is maybe a fair result. I think we had our chances. They've hit the post with a chance late on. But, you know, it's a hard place to come and get a result here. We've come here on the back of the international games, and we had some players that began to tire. So we're not disappointed with 1-1. We showed grit and determination to keep going. And that would have been unfair if we had lost, but it's hard to say. I find it hard to say that we should have won the game.
You obviously thought it was there to be one, though, those changes midway through that second half.
Well, you know, we introduced Lauren, and Lauren didn't start the game because of we feel we have to be a wee bit harder to play against away from home. And when Lauren comes on, it's a win or bust situation. You know, we ask him all the time to do a bit more going back, and the more we ask, the less we seem to get. And yeah, we look threatening going forward, but I think you know, in an English game, first you have to be hard to play against. And when Lauren came on, I felt that, you know, the game was there to be won by both teams, and that's not really how it should be.
Competition for places. Obviously, players want to be involved. Today, Craig Bellamy scored a goal, come off, didn't look particularly happy, but that competition, can it also have a disruptive effect as opposed to a positive one?
Well, I think anyone can look at it and say that it was common sense to make the substitutions we made. We've had players who've had a lot of travelling. In some cases, some have played 2 very hard games, and I think especially the forward, which is the hardest place to play, and the type of player he is, where he relies on his zip and his enthusiasm. He's had 2 hard games, so I think it was a common sense one. That.
How important to remain unbeaten?
Very important. You know, we've shown grit and determination against a team who play in your face football. They never give you a minute's peace when you're on the ball, and you have to compete with them, and we've done that today. On another day, if Lady Luck had been with us, because I think they must have blocked 3 or 4 chances that certainly would have been, the goalkeeper would have had to have worked to keep out the net. We might win it, but I think a draw was a fair result today.
You don't leave here disappointed. You look slightly down.
Yeah, I am. Maybe it's maybe that's me. Maybe you know, you hope to win every game, and at 1-0 you're in the driving seat. We've conceded a fairly disappointing goal from our point of view. So maybe there's a wee bit of disappointment, but I know tonight when I have my glass of wine I'll be a bit happier when I reflect on it, because I think we showed grit and determination to keep going in a very difficult game.
Red or white?
Only red. It's for its medicinal purposes. Doctor says I should drink 3 or 4 a night.
I imagine
that's
it's quite,
not bottles. That's
I'd
nice.
imagine it's quite a nice vintage as well.
You bet.
Enjoy it. Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. I was about to ask whether he meant bottles or glasses, but I'm glad he sorted that out. So he didn't actually feel as though Newcastle should have left with 3 points, but the opportunity to do so was certainly there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. As he says, it was end-to-end stuff. I mean, the old rain came down, and Charlton had a few half chances, and as he says, when Lauren comes on, anything can happen. He can either whip one in the top corner, or he can give away a goal, and you find yourself you've lost the game. So I think on the reflection of play, I think a 1-1 draw, that both managers are quite pleased, and they'll go away, and I think it's a point earned, I think.
How long will it take him to produce a Newcastle in his image?
I don't think it'll take him too long. I don't see him making wholesale changes. I think I've said many times, I think he knows he's got a very good squad. He just needs a couple of, I think in January he'll buy at least 2 defenders to strengthen his defence. I think, look at the team today, they let in a silly goal through defensive errors, really. So it'd be very interesting. He might make maybe one more attacking player, but I say in the main, I think he knows he's got good attack and good midfielders, and I think his defence is where Newcastle have always been weak over the years.
You mentioned Lady Luck, Chris. If it had been in Newcastle's, or if she had been in Newcastle's corner, they might have won. What do Charlton need right now? Just be a little bit more consistent than they are.
Well, I think to have a settled side, I think the back 4 pick themselves at the moment, but the midfield has changed a lot. Maybe because of Holland being out for a while, and Ramadan has played wide left, wide right, and he's missed a few of the away games. So they just need to settle down now, and you know, the side I think that was out today at present will be his first 11. So if they go up to Liverpool that same side. At least now they're a bit more settled. But it's the away form which is paramount, really. They have to improve on.
I mean, he has spent money, but largely like for like, isn't it? The same style of player going out has been replaced by one coming in. He's not really added too many personnel or numbers to the squad, has he, Alan Curtis?
No, not really, and I've left at the moment, albeit temporarily. But I think, to be fair, and this is my own personal view, I feel, Charlton missed Klaus Jensen. I think he was a very, very good player for Charlton, a key player. And Paolo Di Canio, he had such good quality. Both those players have good quality. And, they can just unlock one or two sides when things are quite tight. But I still feel Danny Murphy and Romadal, Kukuri and Hughes were the players that came in. I still feel, there's more to come from those players.
And Jeffers.
And Franny Jeffers, I shouldn't forget him because, he's scored a couple of good goals already. He's had a slight problem with his neck, but, once he's fit and raring to go, I think the squad's good enough to finish in the top 10, definitely.
I think that'd be Charlton's problem, be scoring goals. I think they're very, very solid. They play a pressure game, but I think they're not going to score enough goals.
I hear they're solid. Not been that
well, yeah, but I just can't see them scoring. Lisby done very well today, but I didn't think he looked like scoring too many goals, and Bartlett as well. And I just think they're going to just fall a little bit flat for not scoring enough goals in the Premiership.
Are you enjoying your time with the Hammers?
Very much so, yeah. I didn't enjoy it yesterday.
No.
I don't think the 5,000 fans or the rest of the team, we didn't perform at all yesterday. QPR, to be fair to them, been very confident recently, and they're on an amazing run, but I'm enjoying my time there.
You're there for another month?
I am, yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens after.
And then back here for Christmas?
Hopefully not. Don't tell Curbs.
Thank you both very much. Enjoyed your company. Don't forget, very shortly, Andy will be with us in the studio here for his word, the last word, on all of the weekend's football. Why can't Arsenal do this in the Champions League? That's one of the questions we'll be asking.
Every minute in the fight with the Cylons, we have to make choices. Every order we give, every shot we take, could mean the difference between survival and extinction. Because even if we survive, we'll have to live with ourselves.
The world premiere of the exclusive new series.
The world is over. The fight is just beginning.
Battlestar Galactica starts tomorrow at 8 on Sky One.
Since the beginning of time, survival has depended on quick responses and effective propulsion. Introducing the new Mondeo ST TDCi, the most powerful 16-valve diesel in its class. Quick responses save lives.
If you have one tooth, a toothbrush will do. What if you have a mouthful? Sonicare with Philips Sonic technology creates a fluid force that reaches deep between teeth. If you have teeth, you need a teeth brush. Philips Sonicare.
Interested in becoming one of the Army's technical specialists? Go to army.mod.uk for a free DVD.
I see technology as simple as the box it comes in.
Van Helsing is now on an action-packed DVD. It's a must-see. A monster of a hit. Marvelous monster mayhem. Who's hunting who? Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale. Van Helsing! Buy it now on DVD and get The Mummy for just $5.99.
Make mini movies on your mobile. Send them to your friends. And get loads of minutes too. Turtles are great.
You have a life,
No television on Sunday. We're going to my mother's.
but you also have your favourite TV shows. Philips DVD Recorder records and stores 130 hours of television. Recording is as easy as channel surfing. Watch whatever you want, whenever you want.
No football Tuesday. Dinner at the Martins, 8 o'clock.
If only everything in life was this easy.
The kids want you to take them to football.
Silver drinking sacred jar. Protect me, keep me safe from harm. Silver drinking sacred jar. Protect me, keep me safe from harm.
Are you ready for it to start?
Let's make this moment last. Give up yourself until no more. Let's make this moment last.
So a weekend that Arsenal find themselves 11 points clear of Manchester United and just 7 days from going to Old Trafford, where some believe the title could get wrapped up. Not a bit of it. Manchester United, with all the big guns on the pitch yesterday at Birmingham, failing to find a way through against Steve Bruce's team. Everton have third place on their own, on the heels of Chelsea, who of course lost for the first time at Main Road, and controversially, we'll get Andy's thoughts on that in a moment or so. But first up, Andy, question that I asked the other side of the break: why is it that Arsenal look so smooth, so good, and have hit the heights that they do domestically, and yet in the Champions League again this season they've failed to do that so far?
There might be many reasons, Richard. I mean, obviously when you talk of the Champions League, I think you have to look at a higher quality of player in general that they come up against, but that still shouldn't stop Arsenal playing the same way, having the same feel for the game. And it was noticeable against Rosenborg that Arsene Wenger said we didn't seem, he didn't use the word positive, but I think that's what he meant when they were 1-0 up. They weren't as positive as they would have been at home. They don't, whether it's in Europe, they go out and they think when they get one up, okay, that's going to be enough. And they don't, as they do in the Premiership, when they get one, go and look to get another. Or, and you and I have talked about this, and we've debated this for the last couple of seasons since we've been doing the Champions League, is it the Dennis Bergkamp factor? And I think you have to, particularly away from home, you have to look at Dennis and say, with the performances again this season that he's providing for Arsenal, is the fact that he can't travel and doesn't travel to most of the games a big point? Because do Arsenal have another player like Dennis Bergkamp? And the answer is simply no.
Bearing in mind they go to Panathinaikos, of course, on Wednesday, and we'll be watching that game live on Wednesday night in the Champions League. So how do they overcome this problem, and how much of a factor is it?
It's a huge fact. Let me show you some of Bergkamp this season, and we'll try and explain what they miss then when they don't have Dennis, as they've done. We'll take a look at some of the games. We've got a few bits of stuff from yesterday, and this is against Aston Villa yesterday. And what I'm saying is, these kind of positions here now, when Dennis gets himself in that sort of position, we know what it's like. You sling a back four along there, you've got your midfield in there, and you know that invariably Dennis Bergkamp's going to try and patrol himself in and around there and get the ball and get turned and go at you. It then becomes hugely difficult for teams to play against us. Great ability to run with the ball, and I think Dennis's biggest quality as far as Arsenal's concerned, I mean, he almost finds a way through there. Dennis's biggest quality is that I don't think he sees himself as a goal scorer. Invariably, Arsenal this year, Richard, have been a team where Dennis Bergkamp either plays the second last or the last pass to create a chance or an opportunity. Like here, edge of the box, he's facing people up. Now, instead of Dennis looking for shooting opportunities that don't exist, watch this. Is there a pass on? Yes, there is. And then Reyes only stopped by a good save again yesterday. Again here, you think he's going nowhere. And now I'm not saying that Arsenal don't have other players to do that, but he is kind of unique in his ability to create chances for other people. And I think that is what they miss. Ability to play high up the pitch. This is against Charlton, team we've just watched. Be able to wait, appreciate players around them, and pick out people. Again, there you go. There's the back line in. Well, two of the back four are in here. But what I said, you talk about players having a picture, players being aware. This ball's going to arrive at Dennis Bergkamp, and then he's immediately going to transfer it here. And not everybody sees that as quickly as he does. One touch, play. Now, that's two-touch football, creates the opportunity for Reyes. And that's what I mean. Do they possess another player to be able to do that? I don't think they do. And I think no matter who they play there, say they play Reyes and Henry up top, then Reyes is more of a goal scorer, I think. He doesn't possess the experience of Dennis Bergkamp at this kind of level to be picking a pass out. And Dennis Bergkamp gets more enjoyment out of picking a pass, or as much, maybe not more, but as much enjoyment out of sliding a pass in for someone else than he does from scoring a goal himself.
Finals in Turkey this year, isn't it? I'm just thinking he obviously won't play in too many away games, but would they ensure that he was available for selection should they make the final, and would he have to be?
He would have to be. I mean, he would absolutely have to be. I mean, the final, fortunately for Arsenal and Arsene Wenger, the final is 10 days after the last Premiership game of the season. Trouble would be if Arsenal were contesting the FA Cup final as well. I think in no circumstances, should that be the case, that Arsene Wenger wouldn't pick him for the cup final.
No.
And might just say, Dennis, this is the European Champions.
In fact, I think he said, hasn't he, he's not concentrating too much on the FA Cup at all this year.
So he's got 10 days.
But do you, having said what you have, do you genuinely believe it's a factor?
I think it must be a factor. And I say that because of what they got, 29 goals in the Premiership this season. Of the 29 goals, I mean, the amount of goals that Dennis is involved in. And I say, not the final pass maybe, lots of those, but either the final or the second last pass that creates a goal or an opportunity for Arsenal, invariably Dennis Bergkamp is in and around that. And when you take that ability out of side and you can't replace it with equal ability, you can replace it with a different type of player, but you can't replace it with equal ability, then it must be a factor.
Remember, this time next week we will have seen Arsenal play Manchester United. It's live next Sunday. Now, speaking of United, they had everybody available yesterday. They had 4 of the best strikers that play football in this country on the pitch at the same time. They still couldn't find a way through. In fact, this year it's just 9 goals as opposed to Arsenal's 29 in 9 league games. What's happening, or what isn't happening?
It's difficult to know. I think what you're finding with Manchester United now, you've got Zaha, Smith, Rooney, 3 new players getting to know each other. I know Zaha came back end of last season, but still relatively new to Manchester United. All getting to know each other's ability, all getting to know each other's runs, each other's skills, what they're best at, what they don't like, and I think that's a major factor. The fascinating thing for me about yesterday was that Alex Ferguson did yesterday what we used to see Arsene Wenger do a couple of seasons ago, and that's if a game's not quite going their way. Arsene would just put on as many front men or forward-thinking players as he could and get them on the pitch in the hope that they would create something. Sir Alex seemed to do a bit of that yesterday when he tried to get every single, and that includes Paul Scholes, who came on as a substitute, into that team to see if they could open up Birmingham City. And sometimes, yes, you can put too many players in the top positions of the pitch, and it can work against you. I mean, a quick for instance, and I'm not saying it did happen, but a quick for instance was, sometimes if you're playing against a back 4, Richard, if you do that and stick 4 up against them, they love it. Defenders love it, because that's what they want. It's much easier to mark a player if they go and stand up against you. So sometimes by putting a lot of forward players on the pitch, that can work against you, and it can make defending actually easier rather than more difficult. I mean, if you do it and they drop off and they get in positions that make it difficult for these lot to pick up, then it can be much more difficult. What's Sir Alex going to do next Sunday? I think that's a massive question in the build-up.
Sure, I'll tell you what I was surprised to, sorry to interrupt, to read today, but and it's always very difficult when you look at quotes in newspapers, because sometimes they are misinterpreted. But he said, I think yesterday, he's got to be fair to players at the moment. Now, that doesn't sound like Sir Alex Ferguson, does it? Being fair to people.
No, it doesn't.
That's not a recipe for success, is it?
Well, it's not been Sir Alex's recipe for success. He will say he's always been fair to players, but what Sir Alex Ferguson has done is when he's had to make a big decision about bringing players and picking players and leaving others out, then he's made that decision. I was surprised to hear that quote attributed to Sir Alex, because fairness is great, but winning football matches is what it's all about for him, and particularly at this moment in time when there are so many points behind Arsenal, when they have this game coming up next Sunday. And I think that Sir Alex is going to have to pick a team next Sunday that fits the system that he wants to go in against Arsenal with.
Well, what do you think will that be 2 up with 1 at the head of a diamond? Will that be like Arsenal play with perhaps a Rooney floating about? I mean, how does that work?
I mean, we could probably put Arsenal in, couldn't we? I mean, we could probably put them in with a back 4. We'll use the blue. I know I'm sorry about this.
They might play in blue. Is that their change strip at the minute? I can't remember.
Can't be
maybe
blue,
it's yellow.
And there'll be Henry and Bergkamp or whoever he goes in with there. Maybe, obviously, Vieira might not be fit, but that we can pretty much assume. Now, Sir Alex might go with 2 up top. He might go with Van Nistelrooy and Saha or Smith up front. Rooney may get picked in behind them, and they might go with 3 narrow in midfield, or they might play Rooney in midfield. The thing I dislike about Wayne Rooney playing here, and I said that during the England games, is I think when you play with 2 up top and Wayne Rooney here, too much is asked of Wayne Rooney going this way, going that way. How many times do we see him back tackle players over there?
Yes.
For England and get back in here on the edge of his own box, and I think that's great to see him do that. But where would you want to see Wayne Rooney?
Well, up there, doing damage that
you want
way.
to see him when they win it, to get the ball up to him and then effect to play. And Terry Sheringham was a bit like that. So, but Sir Alex has gone in big games against Arsenal, Richard, with pretty much that formation, with a flat back 4, with 4 across midfield. The FA Cup win at Villa Park was based on that, frustrating Arsenal across the middle of midfield, and Ruud van Nistelrooy up top on his own. They're at home. Sir Alex has already conceded they have to win this match. Have to win. It's a must win, even in October, for Manchester United. So what do they do? I don't know. I think, and I can't pre-guess Sir Alex. I mean, I think they've got to play Van Nistelrooy. He must play. You would guess in a game as huge as that, Rooney has to play. But I think that they'll play Rooney in that kind of area here, with licence to just, laze a little bit. I think he'll want 4 at all times across. Don't know how Ryan Giggs will be. He said that virus. If Giggs is fit, you would think that Ryan would play. And a midfield, I don't know, Scholes, Keane, Ronaldo. I mean, it's a pretty strong quartet of midfield players that Sir Alex could fit. He might pick a Kleberson, he might pick a Djemba. I don't know, depending on how Paul Scholes is. But I think we might see him go in with that sort of formation, with Van Nistelrooy up top on his own, with Rooney in behind, getting in these areas where he can really affect the play without, if he doesn't have to, without having him chase away back into these corners and then try and get forward and influence the play. But, I mean, that's the fascinating thing, because Arsenal know they don't have to win the game. They know that. They're 11 points clear. They'd probably take a draw, but such is the confidence in this Arsenal side that they'll look to go and win the game.
How different is that when you play one in just behind a forward in that manner, as opposed to 2 up and 1 at the head of a diamond?
Well, it depends how you want to play them. I mean, it depends as a coach or a manager whether you say if you play your 2 up top, their responsibility would be occupy the 2 centre backs and a full back if you can. If a coach says we'll give you licence to not defend too much, then what that does, Richard, gives you a problem. You would still, as a defensively, be okay. You get 4 against 3. You would only worry if, say, your full-back joined in the play and he was allowed to wait and you lose the ball. Do you understand what I'm saying? High up the pitch. Then you've got your 2 and then you've got your 3. And if he sprung off the back, you would be worried about that. So, but invariably, he's asked to do something defensively, certainly in our league. He's asked to do something. And he has to come back and defend. If they play the 1 up top, then there's less chance of him being asked to defend too much. He'll be asked to fill in a hole whenever you can, get in amongst them. But if it goes back in here and people run off, there are plenty of players to cope with them. When they get the ball, we'll get it to you, and then you do your stuff in that end of the pitch without worrying about what's going back there and what's going back there. I think that position there with 2 up top puts too much of an emphasis on Rooney to fill in holes in this 3 and have to end up in areas that he doesn't want. But I think it's a game that Sir Alex will look to be nice and tight. They look better at the back with Rio Ferdinand in there. Keane's looking much fitter. If Giggs and Scholes are playing as well, Sir Alex has got a pretty good team to pick from, but it's still a team that's got to beat the best team in the country at the moment.
That's next Sunday, next Super Sunday. Manchester United against Arsenal is part of a double header that we have from the Barclays Premiership next week. First up are Saints and Birmingham. That starts next Sunday, 1 o'clock. And don't forget Arsenal, of course, Wednesday night in Panathinaikos, and we'll see how they go without Dennis the Menace. Now, Chelsea lost for the first time yesterday to a penalty that Jose Mourinho was not happy about conceding. There was also a matter of whether there should have been a sending off rather than just a yellow card. What was your view?
Was he not happy about the penalty being given?
He was not happy about the penalty given. I think the penalty being given. He felt the offence was outside of the box.
Problem we've got. Here we go. It's a position now, Richard. That where are we? As he slips Gallas, right now, you can imagine. Where's the linesman? See, he's not even in the shot, is he? See that right hand side.
Is he on that side?
I think he might be on that side because I didn't see him on the far side earlier. But he's not in shot, so I think he's on that side. If I'm wrong, I'll know about to be told about it. But when that ball's hammered that distance, Richard, and you're Nicholas Anelka, you're not going to keep up with him if you're a linesman, right? So we can see that the referee he's looking in at this from this sort of angle. He's got a great view of this incident, and I have some sympathy with Paulo Ferrara because as the ball skips away from them, Anelka does brilliantly. Because what does he do? Go
He's
right across the front of him.
Yeah.
And the clash happens, it's about a yard outside the box, but it's awfully hard for the referee to see that's a yard outside the box. The flight of the ball is the key for me, and whether he should be sent off. It's come from this sort of angle, and it's sort of angled that way, across and away from goal. It's probably even worse than that. And I think that ball bounces again there, Richard. In fact, it is more. Now, I reckon if Nicholas Anelka had gotten on that there, he'd be doing well. I know he's quick, but the angle of his run, he'd have been doing well. So I don't think that's a clear goal-scoring opportunity. I think if they had both been running that way, and the ball had been going in there, and it happened, I think you send them off, as well as give the penalty.
Right, okay.
Right? But I think because it went that way, they didn't.
But is it a penalty?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. So I think he got that right in only booking Ferrara. And this is what I'll tell you about. If the linesman's level, can you imagine if the linesman's level and he sees that? Now you can see Ferrara just looking at the ball.
Well, to be fair, he is this side, isn't he? Because
he's not
otherwise
there.
he'd have to be that.
Yeah, he probably got that right. But you can see there's a coming together outside the box, and Nicholas continues to fall inside the box, as happens in many occasions. Now, it was a clumsy tackle. Was it a tackle? No, it was a challenge that the two people who came together. I think that it might have been allowed to. It might have not been a penalty, but I think from that far back, when the referee decides and blows his whistle, and he's that far behind the play, he's always going to give the penalty. I think that's a certainty.
But he got 50% of that right.
Yes, I think
only
so.
booking Ferrara.
No, I think he booked for it, and I think he'll always give the penalty.
Right.
It's easy for us to look at that angle from right opposite it where the camera was and say, you were a yard outside, he got it wrong. But I mean, that's harsh on the referee. Chelsea are not going to thank me for saying that, but it's harsh on the referee. But what I've just heard, actually, hot news off the press, this is something that I think is going to change next season. That what's going to happen is if there's a tackle in the penalty area, anywhere in the penalty area, and a player is brought down, and a penalty is given, then a yellow card is going to be shown.
Where have you just heard that?
I can't tell you, my sources are secret, just in case it's wrong. Well, I hope I'm right. Because,
well, no, then attribute it to somebody else in case it is.
Well, I've just been talking to Gerard Houllier upstairs, and he was asking what we were talking about tonight. So even people like Gerard watch the show.
Good.
And he said to me, well, that's something that's going to change, Andy. I said, oh, so my ears immediately pricked up as I thought, hot off the press. So what he's saying is anything in the penalty area is going to be judged as penalty, harsh enough with a booking.
Good, that's it.
So a yellow card will follow. But what they'll say is if the incident happened out here, right, 18-yard, but outside, and somebody's gone through straight on goal, and he gets brought down from behind outside the box, then the referee will have the ability to send the offending player off.
Right.
Which is the thing, which is good, which is what we've always said. Somebody gets hacked down middle of goal, tracking down here, and as the last player hacks him down, then that will be a sending off. Penalty in the 18-yard box. Look for it. I hope this comes true. Otherwise, you and I.
It's not your fault now.
Yeah, you're right. It's not my fault. But if that's true, and I've got no reason for Gerard to think it other than it will be, then I think that's a positive.
Right.
Because we're fed up seeing people get sent off for no good reason.
No, and we've said that for a long time. Now, United have only scored 9 goals. It's worse for Chelsea, despite the fact they've had more attempts at goal than either Arsenal, which might surprise one or two people, or Manchester United this season. They cannot buy a goal at the moment. So let me ask you that. Why not?
Well, I don't know. It's staggering. I mean, we got here today, and I thought we were going to talk about Arsenal and their goals, and we thought Chelsea and Manchester United, and we both thought that the difference in the chances created would be hugely in favour of Arsenal. But the only difference is in the amount of times that Arsenal have actually worked the goalkeeper. Now that's hugely in Arsenal's favour. It's a compliment to the quality of the finishing that they work the goalkeeper 70 times out of 120 attempts. Fabulous. Chelsea's is as low as 40%. Manchester United's is as low as 43%. And I can't remember quite what Arsenal's was. There we go.
58, I think.
With Arsenal, well done, mate. With Arsenal's up as high as 58. So you can see there's hardly anything, but there's only 9 attempts in goal, the difference between Manchester United and Chelsea, but a huge difference between how many times they've hit the target.
So are those people who are wondering why Chelsea sold Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, those Chelsea supporters, they're asking that question, are they right?
They are at the moment. Chelsea have scored 8 goals. Jimmy scored 6 on his own. only the second hat-trick in the Premiership this season, and we're coming up to late October. Who's the other one?
Yakuba.
Well, good boy. I thought I'd catch it.
Yeah, nearly.
Yakuba, and it was one of our live games, I'm sure it was, against Fulham when he got the hat-trick down at Pompey. But let's look at Jimmy's goals from yesterday, because, I mean, they arrived right on time as far as Jimmy's concerned. And what I would say about this goal, you talk about defending, Richard, right? Now, this build-up, as it's... Hold on, let me just take that ball back, because you know how I often talk about defending and how you can't step out unless you know what's behind you?
Yes.
Well, obviously the full-back here is looking straight across the pitch. He can see everything. He can see the ball. He can see his last defender there. He knows there's nothing here because he's a left-back and there shouldn't be anything. If anyone's behind him there, then they want sacking, of course. So he's looking right across the pitch, and in this situation, he can just stay there. He can just stand up. And he's half thinking about it. He must be, because the arm's gone up.
Isn't it?
The arm's gone up. So it doesn't go up. Because Jimmy doesn't... Oh, let me just start this again. There we go. Now, he's given himself a problem by run there. You can see Jimmy would quite clearly be offside. Flag would have gone up, and Blackburn wouldn't have to defend this. And then from there, well, maybe this is what they're not doing. And the one thing I would say in Jimmy's favour, if he gets a chance, Richard, he invariably hits the target. And I think that's maybe what we're not seeing from Chelsea. Again, lovely football. Full-back, ball slid in here, run in behind the full-back there, totally isolated. It's lovely stuff. But you look at the middle there, they've got 4 red shirts in against 3. That's fabulous. That's obviously a team that are feeling pretty confident. And all we need now is to pick a good ball. Super ball, defender comes to cover the near post. Oh, not him, not that. Defender comes to cover the near post here. Ball's just going to be slid back there. Now, as a front man, you can do one or two things. You can try and get in front of him, or in behind him there, or you just hold your ground. Jimmy picks a perfect one, and that's a comfortable finish. And then his hat-trick, well, there's 2 on his wicker side. Again, Blackburn again are down to 10 men, we know that, but you cannot do that. In fact, he might have been offside. Let me take that back. Is he offside there? Watch when this is won, Richard. Ball's played in. Blackburn won it back. Now, price of player.
I think he may have been.
So he's offside, but they get away with it. And it's funny, isn't it? Because when you step back the way, you get away with it. And it's just shifting hit. That wasn't the best defending, but that is probably what they missed. Nigel Johnson, goodish finisher, but more flair. Kesman, we said on day one here, I'm not sure, there's so much to prove to me, Kesman, about his ability in this league. And after watching him yesterday, that doubt still remains. And without Drogba, and even Didier Drogba thinks hit and miss finisher at the moment, without that kind of quality, then Chelsea just missing something at the moment.
Well, I'm glad you made mention of the offside, because Crystal Palace left Bolton a little aggrieved. They felt they should have had an offside decision.
This is a difficult decision. I mean, the answer is it's not offside. The answer is this is a great decision by the linesman on this near side. But you can see how close it is. Now, what they decide to do, obviously, is to step out. But when you do that, you've got to make sure everyone gets out. Now they've got a decent line across there, but they've got one defender who's putting himself there, who's playing people on side. Linesman's got a great view of it. Now I always say to you, when a linesman's looking from this side and the first shirt he sees is a white one, then there's a real chance the flag can go up. If he's looking from the other side and the first shirt he sees, if he's in line, is a red one, then there's less chance of that flagging up for offside. So I am a little surprised, not because he gets it right, because he's looking straight at 2 white shirts here and he doesn't put his flag up, and it must have been very difficult for him to see the player in the back post there. But Kevin Davis, who's the second one nearest goal, I mean, goalkeeper slips, Kevin gets a little header in, we can see quite clearly it's a decent goal, it's a right decision, but very, very close.
Can you defend like that?
I think in the modern game, you know, when people who are offside but are coming back and not given offside, I think rushing out is a waste of time. I think it's wrong. I think if you're going to do it, get yourself higher up the pitch, get a good starting position and defend the thing properly. And if they'd have done that, Crystal Palace, and headed that away or got a challenge in, and Kevin Davis might not have scored that goal, and Crystal Palace might have come away with a point.
One game to come this weekend. It's live tomorrow night on the Monday Night Football. Right now, the table looks like this. Palace bottom as a result of that defeat, and Southampton are in the drop zone now as well, with Blackburn Rovers just outside as a result of goal difference. As you can see, Norwich, then come Fulham, West Brom, Birmingham, Portsmouth, Aston Villa and Manchester City. Charlton into the top half as a result of their point against Newcastle today. Spurs down. Newcastle take 8th place. Could have gone 4th, would have gone 4th with the win. Ahead of Newcastle, Liverpool who came storming back at Craven Cottage yesterday. Manchester United 6th, 11 points back on the champions. Then Middlesbrough, Bolton and Everton, and those three have been there or thereabouts all season so far. Everton 1 point now behind Chelsea, who lost of course for the first time yesterday, and Arsenal 5 points clear at the top. Monday Night Football tomorrow, confirmation comes from Fratton Park. It is Portsmouth against Spurs, 7 o'clock start as usual on Sky Sports 1. And the Champions League is back Tuesday and Wednesday night. Tuesday night we have 6 live games. Main focus of attention, Real Madrid and Dynamo Kiev on Sky Sports 2. On Sky Sports Extra, it's Juventus against Bayern Munich, or you can choose to watch one of the other 6. Leverkusen meet Roma, Ajax meet Maccabi Tel Aviv, Monaco play Olympiacos, and it's Fenerbahce against Lyon. That's Tuesday night. And Wednesday, that's the one we were talking about, Arsenal against Panathinaikos. It's on Sky Sports 2. Chelsea play CSKA Moscow on Extra. That's also the place to find Celtic's game against Shakhtar Donetsk. And Milan's against Barcelona. PSG meet the champions Porto. It's Valencia against Inter, Rosenborg against PSV, and Anderlecht against Werder Bremen. And of course, by the time we go at 11 o'clock, we'll have seen all the week's Champions League goals. The information's changing and the music is changing. Valencia meets Seville tonight. Sky Sports 1, it's an 8 o'clock start. Valencia 5 points adrift of Barcelona. They're in second, Seville sit third. Now on Sky Sports 2, it's golf from Mallorca day 4, and tonight at 8 on 2. From America, day 4 of the Classic of Greensboro. It's Indy Racing on Sky Sports 3 now, the Chevy 500 Series, and on Sky Sports Extra, NFL, our usual double bill. It's Cleveland against Cincinnati, Oakland against Denver. And that's just about it from Andy and myself. We'll look forward to your company on Tuesday night. Don't forget Monday Night Football tomorrow with Ian Payne. Here at Charlton, they've been celebrating today 100 years of pride and passion.